All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you. But you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote it for you. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. What's happening, Rohan, man? Shalom, Brother Marvin, man. Come on, Sibo. Revelation 5 and
1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on a throne a book written within it on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong Malachim proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in Shamayim, nor in the earth, nor under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 ruachs of Elohim, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. When he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, you are worthy to take a book and to open the seals thereof. For you were slain and have redeemed us to Elohim by your blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and have made us unto our Elohim kings and priests. We shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many Malachim round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands.
Okay, that's good right there, man. Come on to Zechariah 4 and 1, man. We take that trip back around there, man, and get back to it.
And the Malachim that talked with me came again and waked me, as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, what see you? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and its 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps which are upon the top thereof, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. And I answered and spake to the Malachim that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? Then the Malachim that talked with me answered and said unto me, know you not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of Yahuwah unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, nor by power, but by my ruach, saith Yahuwah of hosts. Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain. You shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it.
That's right.
Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house.
The hands of who?
The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it. And you shall know that Yahuwah of hosts have sent me unto you.
Go ahead.
For who have despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of and Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of Yahuwah, which run to and fro throughout the whole earth.
Don't worry about it. We're going to deal with that. Come on with it.
Then answered I and said unto him, what are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof?
That's right.
And I answered again and said unto him,
what do you say?
What be these 2 olive branches which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, know you not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then
these are what?
Then said he, these are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth.
Now I want you to do one more time. I want you to slide over here. The Zechariah 3 and 5. I want you to hear him talk about them 7 eyes one more time.
And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments. And the Malachim of Yahuwah stood by. And the Malachim of Yahuwah protested unto Yahushua, saying,
what do you say?
Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, if you will walk in my ways, if you will keep my charge, then you shall also judge my house.
What else?
And also shall also keep my courts, and I will give you places to walk.
Read it again. He said, if you're walking my what?
If you will walk in my ways,
you do what?
You will keep my charge.
And you'll be able to do what?
Judge my house.
And you'll be able to do what?
Keep my courts.
Okay, and he'll give you what?
Places to walk among these that stand by.
Commit that to memory. Continue. Now, here now.
Yahushua the high priest, you and your fellows that sit before you,
For they
are men wondered at.
Hold on, they men that what?
Wondered at.
I want you to keep that in mind. Come on with it.
For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch.
Behold.
The stone that I have laid before Yahushua upon one stone. One stone shall be 7 eyes.
And I'll do what with it?
Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, saith Yahuwah of hosts.
What else?
And I'll remove the iniquity of that land in one day.
He'll do what?
Remove the iniquity of that land in one day.
My God, today. And that day,
saith Yahuwah of hosts,
you'll call every man
his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree.
Let me ask y'all a question. Where you see verse 10 at? Where you see verse 10 at? You know where you see verse 10 at? Somebody know where you see verse 10 at. Indeed. Let's come over here to John 1 and 43.
The day following, Yahushua would go forth into Galilee and find Philip and said unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Whoa.
Philip said unto him, Come and see. Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, Behold,
what he said?
An Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile.
No guile.
Nathanael said unto him, Whence know you me? Yahushua answered.
What did he answer?
Before that Philip called you, when you was under the fig tree, I saw you.
When you was under the what?
When you was under the fig tree, I saw you.
And Nathanael answered
and said unto him, Rabbi, you are the son of Elohim, you are the Malach Yasharal.
Yahushua answered what?
He said unto him, Because I said unto you, I saw you under the fig tree, believe you, you shall see greater things than these.
Then he saith unto him, Truly,
truly I say unto you, hereafter you shall see Shamaim open and the Malachims of Elohim ascending and descending.
Now you know that relates to what they call AKA Jacob's ladder. We won't talk about that tonight. Read Zechariah 3 and 10 one more time. He said, man, and he called him from under the fig tree. He said, I seen you. Now, this is just to show you how even some of the most minute things are testified of. But let's continue.
In that day, saith Yahuwah of hosts, shall you call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree.
Call every man his neighbor under the vine, under the fig tree. Now, I just want you to also let that rest in your brain. Now, with that being said, let me go back and look at the first thing in Zechariah that we want to take and run with. Go back and read Revelation 11, because we got two things from Zechariah 3 and Zechariah 4. But let's take it back to Revelation 11 on general principle.
And it was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the Malachim stood saying,
Shalom,
in the temple of Elohim and the altar, and them that worship therein.
Yep.
But the court which is without the temple leave out. And
leave that out.
Not, for it is not given unto the Gentiles. In the Kadash city shall they tread underfoot 42 months.
42 months.
And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth. If any man will hurt them, for I will proceed out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut Shamaim, that it rain not in the days of the prophecy.
Now remember, we're not saying that this is Elijah and Moses. It's just the things that they are akin to that. And we have to delve into that deeper by looking at their stories. We're going to swing that and then look at them in the transfiguration. You know, make it a little saucy. Go ahead.
So these have power to shut Shamaim, that it rain not in the days of the prophecy, and have
right.
power over waters to turn into blood, and
to
blood the earth with all plagues as often as they will.
Often as they will.
And when they shall have finished.
Now keep that in mind with the plagues are going to line up with Egypt. Now, of course, you also see plagues. You stay right where you at, David. Now, I want y'all to come walk with me for a moment, because it's going to be akin to leaving out of Egypt, but done just a tad bit differently, but yet the same at the same time. Shalom, East man. I want you to come over here to Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 1. Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 1. And it says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard it as it was the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts, saying, "Come and see." And I saw, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. Now, keep in mind that bow, Ezekiel chapter 1, excuse me, and a crown that was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, screw it. Give me Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 28.
As the appearance of the bow that is in a cloud in the day of rain.
That's the what?
As the appearance of the bow that is in a cloud in the day of rain.
What gonna happen?
So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the esteem of Yahuwah. When I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Now,
we mentioned that for the bow. The bow represented of the covenant, or the bow is the fourth is a battle bow, if you would. But then he said a crown was given unto him. Psalms 21 and 4. Come on with it.
He asked life of you, and you gave it.
That's right.
You gave it him, even length of days, forever and ever.
Come on.
His esteem is great in your salvation. Honor and majesty have you laid upon him.
That's right.
You have made him most baruch forever.
That's right.
You have made him exceeding glad with your countenance. For the king trusting Yahuwah, and through the mercy of the Most High, he shall not be moved.
Indeed.
Your hand shall find out all your enemies.
Find out all your who?
All your enemies.
Go ahead.
Your right hand shall find out those that hate you.
Oh.
You shall make them as a fiery oven in the time of your anger. Yahuwah shall swallow them up in his wrath, and fire shall devour them. Now
that's talking about conquering and more conquering. Psalms 110. That wasn't, I might have missed the verse where the crown at, but Psalms 110, I get it. Psalms 110 and 1. And this is with him going forth conquering and more conquering.
Yahuwah said unto my Lord, sit you at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. Yahuwah shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion, rule you in the midst of your enemies.
Yeah, I was too low. He gonna do what?
He shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion.
Rule you in the midst of your what?
Of your enemies.
And what else?
The people shall be willing in the day of your power. The dews of Kadash from the womb of the morning. You have the dew of your youth.
Go ahead.
Yahuwah have sworn and will not repent.
You are
a priest forever
after
the order of Melchizedek.
Continue.
The Lord at your right hand shall strike through kings.
You strike through who?
Through kings.
And what else?
At the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries.
Now go back to Psalm 21. And you can pick it up at 1. It was verse 3 that I needed. That's why I missed it. Hey, y'all too loud.
The king shall joy in your strength, O Yahuwah, and in your salvation, how greatly shall he rejoice. You have given him his heart's desire, and have not withholden the request of his lips, Selah. You prevent him with the blessings of goodness. You set a crown of pure gold on his head.
You set a what on his head?
A crown of pure gold.
Now listen, go ahead.
So he asked life of you, and you gave it him.
That's good. Now I want you to hear the Greek word for conquering. It is nikeho, to conquer. To carry off the victory, to come off victorious, of a Mashiach, victorious over all his foes. Now, in the context of what we're looking at, that's what that's referring to. Psalms 21 and Psalms 110 show you how this man is going to be victorious over his foes. But since I'm in that type of mood, Zechariah 14 and 4.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east.
Peace, Brother Joseph.
And on the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. It shall be a very great valley. Half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. You shall flee to the valley of the mountains. For the valley of mountains shall reach unto Azal.
What's going to happen?
You shall flee like as you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Yehuda.
That's right.
And Yahuwah Elohim shall come, and all the saints with you. It shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah.
What's going to happen?
Not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go up.
That's good. This just referring to victory, him conquering his enemies. But we were talking about this verse earlier because they was having conversations about the end with Satan. And my dog just said some of the dumbest thing I ever heard, but that's just my nigga. That's just what he do. But I want you to hear this. Isaiah 24 and 17. Because if we're going to talk about conquering, let's go ahead and talk about him conquering then. Come on with it. Isaiah 24 and 17.
Fear and the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitants of the earth.
Fear and the what?
And the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitant of the
And
earth,
it shall come to pass
that he who flee from the noise of the fear
shall fall where?
into the pit,
He that come up
out of the midst of the
shall
pit,
be taken into
and
what?
the snare
For the windows
from on high,
and the foundation.
of the earth do shake.
Now, when we look at the windows from on high being open, that's going to make a little bit more sense when you see some of these plagues and some of these things that's coming from on high, because that's what he's referring to. And the earth is what?
Utterly broken down.
And the earth is what?
It's clean dissolved.
And the earth is what?
Moved
That's
exceedingly.
when you look at the fire and the earthquake. But he said the earth going to do what?
Shall reel to and fro like a drum,
And be removed.
like a cottage, and the transgression
Is
thereof
what?
shall be heavy upon
And it's
it.
going to what?
Shall fall and not rise again.
And it shall come to pass
And that day
that Yahuwah going to do what?
shall punish the host of the high ones
That are on what?
on high,
And the
of
kings,
the earth upon the earth,
and they shall be gathered together,
as prisoners are
gathered into what?
in the pit,
And shut up where?
in the prison.
After what?
Many days shall they be
For
visited.
those of you don't know, this is why Revelation say Satan get locked up in the pit for 1,000 years or for a day. Because this is what it's referring to. That host of the high ones and the kings of the earth that's getting punished. Hey man, that's the beast, the false prophet, Satan, and everybody losing. Go ahead and give him the definition of host of the high ones, so you can see what that means. That'll take us back to the conversation we was having in Ephesians 6 about the principalities and spiritual wickedness on high. Shalom, brother Ernest.
Host is Sebaal.
So that's an army.
Mhm.
It's an army. So it's the army of the high ones. Who are the high ones?
That is Maron. That's height, elevation, an elevated place. Of
Mm.
nobles, you got proudly. You got
Nobles.
height.
You know what I'm talking about? So what is a noble? This is a prince. This is a ruler. Ephesians 6 and 12 on general principle.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Paul, give them high places. Spiritual wickedness in high places.
That is Epirunios, that is above the sky. You got in Shamaim, existing in Shamaim, things that take place in Shamaim, the heavenly regions, the lower Shamaim. You got of the stars, you got Shamaim of the clouds, or the heavenly temple or sanctuary of heavenly origin or nature.
So then when you sit back and you look at that, that's what type of wickedness you warn against. Now go to 2 Corinthians 11 and 3. Go ahead.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through a subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in the Mashiach.
Indeed.
For if he that come preach another Yahushua whom we have not preached,
You should what?
or if you receive another Ruach which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted,
You should what?
you might well bear with him.
That's what you're supposed to learn with Eve in the garden. You received the word. Somebody came with a different gospel, a different Yahushua, a different spirit. He said, don't fool with it. Read it again. People need to consider that, because what happened to Eve in the garden is, remember Romans 15 say everything written aforetime is written for your learning. Shalom, Jay. You did. So when you look at something in that capacity and you see him making this statement, that's what you refer back to. Or you could take into account, like we read about the prophet in 1 Kings 13. Or you could take a look back at what we read in Deuteronomy 13. When he said, hey, man, if they work a sign or wonder, a miracle, bring it to pass. Man, I don't care nothing about none of that. Remember what I said to you. You know what I'm saying? You have to take all these things into consideration. Like this stuff ain't just in here for nothing. Now, there's been a debate had all week. I ain't participating in that conversation because I don't be caring. You know what I'm saying? To participate. But this was the question that was posed, and I'll pose the same question to you. Because there's individuals who do not, and I'm going to be honest with you, most Jewish people see the book in this way. They don't believe the majority of these people existed. So the question was, could you believe in the word if you don't believe that Moses existed, Abraham existed, that the Exodus happened, and more so that there's lessons in the text that you can use for your life? Because that has some people really with a high level of consternation. You know what I'm saying? Because stuff in our room might descend into a debate, but it's really it's not really no debate platform. It's the same as us talking, individuals sharing their perspective. Some things do get intense though. Some of y'all know that if you ever been around niggas in a barbershop or arguing with your homeboys, if you would, you know what I'm saying? Some people are very passionate about their points of view. You know what I'm saying? Some people get offended about their points of view. But there's other, and this is the thing that always tripped me out because people like, you can't prove Abraham existed. Hey man, there's people who you got people in your family, ain't nobody gonna be able to prove existed. And there might come a time that once you die, ain't nobody gonna be able to prove you existed. You know what I'm saying? So the thought process that you have to be able to prove somebody's existence, you know what I'm talking about? In regards for the validity of their existence, don't really mean much to me personally. You know what I'm saying? You got people who are buried on family cemeteries right now. Because you know what I'm saying? You got certain places in Florida anyway, because I done seen it, and you get a certain designation tax-wise if you bury your relatives on your property. But where, man, that time gonna come, man, ain't nobody gonna know you've been buried there. Don't you know these people done built buildings and all type of stuff on ancient burial grounds, man? Ain't gonna be no way for you to prove that these people existed. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that it's because people just outright remember. Read me Hebrews 11:3 on general principle.
Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Read verse 1. I thought.
Say now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
That be the biggest problem for people when it comes to the word. And I understand why this happens. People, you can go back to where it was at. People want to approach this intellectually, if you would. And a lot of people don't want to deal with the aspect of faith. People say, I want to know. I want to know. So that's why people look at, okay, I don't know if Abraham existed, so I doubt this. I don't know if this happened, so I won't deal with it. Did you know what I'm saying? And regardless if it offends you or not, it shouldn't offend you. I mean, to be told, the text tell you this is kind of how the carnal mind works. You know what I'm saying? And then also when you have to sit back and look at it before you come to the word, you're a natural-minded individual. Like Nehemiah Madal, you believe Abraham is? He's like, yeah. You believe the Exodus happened? Yeah. Listen, the dude we were talking about last week, the lights, camera, action, or the brain tube dude, that's why he fell off on the word. He ran across information. He didn't believe the Exodus happened, and he began putting stuff out there saying it didn't happen. Then you got people be like, oh, the Israelites borrowed from ancient cultures because people looking at certain things. Even we was having a discussion about, okay, Dionysus and this person's story just like Jesus. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. Because I was into humanities before the word, and I knew the intricate details of a few stories of individuals who are allegedly, they had 12 disciples. The stories aren't the same. Now, what people look for is small parallels and say, oh, they borrowed that. Oh, Dionysus had 12 disciples. But when you really decipher it and go through it, it's not the same. The same way they'll tell you, oh, Horus resurrected from the dead. He was born of a virgin. Horus was not born of a virgin. Horus was born of necrophilia. Wasn't born of a virgin. It's not the same. You know what I'm talking about? Peace, Brother Nate. There's no... This is not an atonement offering for the overcoming of sin and death. The stories aren't the same. And I was telling them something that a young lady asked me long time ago. And she was like, and I told them, she was like, I want to read all the stuff that you read. I told her straight up now, you can read whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not strong in your faith, I would not recommend you doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get tossed to and fro, and you probably going to walk away from the word. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I'm not going to say that I doubt that this individual went through everything that I had to went through, because I read a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different things from a lot of different cultures. You know what I'm saying? A multitude of information that I don't even remember. You know what I'm talking about? The same way we're talking about, Dr. York. When you look at Dr. York took a piece of every bit of every religion known to man and mixed them up together. You know what I'm talking about? See, they did that with Christian, all those false gods also. That aside, none of them was real and solid as the Lord. But of course, people don't know that, and they're not going to look. Indeed, most people are not going to look because they're going to go with the parts that seem similar. You know what I'm saying? Would that be like Proverbs 3 and 5? Read that for me, see.
Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding.
No, that's a little different. Because when Solomon is making this statement, this is a statement made to people who are in covenant with Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? People who supposed to know him and profess to serve him. When you dealing with people who don't believe, don't know the word, it's impossible for them to trust in Yahuwah with all their heart, to lean on their own understanding, because they haven't even moved to meet that threshold. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, and you take, because I'm also talking about people in our present dispensation of time, right? You know what I'm saying? And I've been mentioning this different stuff to you because you got to understand how it's a lot of people feel like, hey man, that whole book BS, them stories in there BS. They don't want nothing to do with it, and you have to be, because like the man who was talking about it today, he a Christian. I think a Trinitarian to be specific. I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm just saying so you can understand his point of view, where he's coming from. And he was like, mainly, if people get on here and debate the word all day, but you don't believe these people exist, what's the point? Because my thought process is, I don't give a damn what another nigga think, believe, or say. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe Abraham existed, cool. If you believe these are fairy tales and you an idiot for believing in it, cool. What that got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, truth be told. But then when you listen to people, they believe in fantastical things that might be more far off than the word. You got people who believe that if you don't, when you die, if you don't meet a certain threshold, you don't keep coming back here. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, where you getting that from? You didn't pull that from your own thought process or this, that, and the third. You're pulling this process from men, from other cultures who mention other things because you don't fool with Yahuwah. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Y'all gotta understand something, right? Because the Bible is considered to be the prominent, quote unquote, religious text of the day, and people see certain things in this text that they don't like, they take an issue with this man. And it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Ain't nothing you could say about it. These people gonna be on what they be on. You feel me? But you got to understand, so I'm trying to think of, like I said, it's Dionysus, Zoroaster, you know what I'm talking about? Some say Buddha, Horus, Krishna, some use Hercules, some use Thor. They'll take, because I read a book about this here. Let me see if I can find the title of this book. Say, so was it just thinking this morning, Job 19:25 would come to mind? Read it for him. We know you don't need no reason. Job 19:25. I think the book was Crucified Saviors of Antiquity. Yeah, that's right. Apollo, Adonis.
For I know that my Redeemer live, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the arrest. And though after my skin warms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. But you shall say, why persecute we him, seeing that's the root of the matter?
Let me see, because I spelled crucified wrong. Well, yeah, here it is right here, man. Various theories in comparative mythology popularized by figures like Percy Graves, the world's 16 crucified saviors, suggest that several ancient deities shared a crucifixion or death and resurrection motif similar to Jesus' narrative. That includes Krishna from India, Tammuz from Syria, Mithra from Persia, Odin from the Norse, Baal from the Phoenicians, Prometheus from Greece, Isus from the Celtics. And see, when you look at these things now listen to this here, right? I'm gonna give you the background of where you see these things are not the same. It says with Krishna, early literature has him being crucified or shot with an arrow while being suspended. You see how they're taking something small and saying, see, this it's not the same. The next one, Tammuz, a vegetation deity who dies and rises, sometimes associated with being fastened to a tree or a snake. Once you get a vegetation deity, you know they're referring to harvest time. But nevertheless, Prometheus, though not exactly crucified, Prometheus was bound to a mountain, and Exion or Zion was bound to a burning wheel. Isus from the Celts, associated with being hung on a tree in various interpretations. Odin from the Norse. I know that I hung on a windy tree 9 long nights, wounded with the spear, according to Havamal. And Baal, the Phoenicians, dies in an encounter with the god of death. You can hear just based off of those small things, ain't none of that the same. Now listen to the next thing they knitted. Themes linked to these deities, born on December 25th, Mithra, Bacchus, and Adonis. But we know scripturally, he wasn't born on December 25th. Then it mentions resurrection. Many see dying and rising gods linked to agricultural or seasonal cycles. And that's where you get it, where you see what's mentioned in Romans 1 about them worshiping the creation more than the creator. Prometheus was the savior of mankind. He was punished for deifying the Olympians. He gave them fire. See, you see how that's not the same? And this is how Satan get people who listen. And I want to be shalom, very, very precise and clear in what I'm about to say. For anybody who on here who don't come around here consistently and wonder why we harp on the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach as the scripture has said. Now I'm about to do something. For those of you who might not be a regular, I want you to read John 5:39 again. I want you to read John 7:37. I want you to read Psalm 40 and 7. I want you to read Revelation 12 and 14. Proceed. John 5:39.
Say, search the scriptures. For
do what?
Search the scriptures.
Do what?
Search the scriptures. For in them you think you have eternal life.
Think you have what?
Eternal life.
And they are what?
They which testify of me.
They are what? That do what?
They are they which testify of me.
John 7:37.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried.
What he cried?
If any man thirst, let him
any
come
man
unto
what?
Me. If any man thirst.
Any man what?
Thirst.
Let him what?
Come unto me and drink.
And he
that believe on me, as the scripture hath said. That believe on me, as the scripture hath said.
Okay.
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Psalm 40 and 7. Go ahead.
Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book.
I come in the what?
In the volume of the book. It is written of me.
It's what?
It is written of me.
Okay. Now, Revelation 12 and 14.
And to the woman were given 2 great wings of an eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time and times, and half a time from the face of the serpent.
Go ahead.
The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
What else?
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the serpent cast out of his mouth.
What else?
And the serpent was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments.
And have what?
And have the testimony of Yahushua.
And have what?
The testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
And have what?
The testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Verse 11, same chapter, Revelation 12.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
And the what?
And by their word of their testimony.
Now, why did I read all these things? Why are we harping on all these things? Because the testimony of Yahushua is as the scripture has said, and that's the difference. So when you understand and know the testimony of Mashiach, and this is prevalent to what we just read in 2 Corinthians 11, read it again, Stephen. 2 Corinthians 11 and 3. None of this stuff that we're looking at is just for the hell of it, just for, you know what I'm talking about? It's very...
And I fear lest any means that the serpent beguiled Eve in subtlety, so your mind in the simplicity that is in the Mashiach.
Go ahead.
For if he that come preach
another what?
Another Yahushua,
oh my God,
whom we have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received,
you might,
or another gospel which you have not accepted,
you might
well bear with him.
Listen, simpletons to tell you that's saying Jesus instead of Yeshua or Yahusha or Yahushua, anything else, and that ain't what he talking about, man. Because them same guys that we just ran down, every last one of them wasn't around that time period, but they were there. So how is that relevant for us in this time period? If you don't know the testimony of Yahushua from Genesis to Malachi, then you'll be goofy enough to walk around here and say his story the same as Bacchus. When you ain't even took the time, you don't even know the story of Bacchus. You know Cliff Notes. Most of these know the intricate details of Christian story. You know what I did when I was in prison? I read the Bhagavad Gita. Have you read that whole? Because I have. You know what I'm talking about? I read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Have you read that whole? So when you read this stuff, man, and this is before I was in the word, wasn't thinking about the Bible, wasn't looking for no Bible, none of that. You know what I'm talking about? I done read about all these ragged hoes, man. You know what I'm talking about? For the most part, you understand that I spent 2 years of my life in humanities classes reading about every last one of these goddamn guys, man. For fun. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I ain't getting paid. I'm paying to do this with the government, but you understand. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at it from that capacity, when you actually know these stories for a one-for-one, now I'm speaking for me, because I read all that and knew all that, and then came in the word, and the Lord saw fit to allow me to understand the testimony of Yahushua from Genesis to Malachi. I know they're not the same. That's why I don't participate in them conversations. Because people who don't believe in the Lord are going to nitpick any part to discredit him. What am I finna sit back and go back and forth with you when I know you ain't did that leg work, nigga? Because when you was around here twiddling your thumb, playing with yourself, well, that's what I was on. You know what I'm talking about? For fun. It wasn't because I wanted to prove a Christian wrong. Nigga, I just genuinely enjoyed reading that type of material. Now let me read you another thing what it say about these people, man. That's why I ain't said this in a while, but I'm gonna say it to those who may not be aware. Satan know his lie good. You better know your truth better, cause that nigga be lying. You understand me? And he go about lying to everybody. And one thing that Satan loves more than anything, which I tell every last one of you men that you never need to fall victim to, is a lazy individual. When you don't want to take the time to read nothing, research nothing, fact check nothing, you don't take no time to go through anything other than the thing that you like and not the things that are pertinent to your soul, you an easy mark. You an easy mark for somebody to come with a small bit of information because you're not solidified in your faith because you don't know it. Nigga, have you shaking off that junk, man? You be out here doing X, Y, Z. Like that. It don't take much. You know what I'm talking about? Well, if you ain't 10-toed flat man locked in and popped in, boy, I'm trying to tell you. It's going to happen to you. Saying the Jehovah's Witness group, these people argue about him being a God. As that's the focus was him being God. And indeed, and that's Christian theology stuff. You know what I mean? That's why I told you, and I mention this every chance I get to mention it. I say, you know, I roll with y'all my people, y'all my niggas, but I know this is a theological space, so these type of conversations be had. See, I'm not a dummy. See, I know how to converse along the lines of the company that I'm around. You understand? So if I know that I'm not around theological people, I wouldn't try to have a theological conversation with them. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to try to impart. Real people don't care about all that. You know what I'm saying? They have a different concern. A lot of brothers can't make the transition from I'm talking to people in theological spaces to talking to real people. And you know why? Because they don't never talk to real people. Because real people don't care if Jesus is God or not. I'll tell you that right now. Real people don't care about if you believe in the virgin birth or not. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? That's theological arguments. Because nobody cares about that in real life, my nigga. I'm trying to tell you. Don't nobody care. If you was to take 99.9% of the things that people are, I ain't talking about just on no clubhouse Israelite space, because contrary to popular belief, there are theological arguments and debates going on in circles all across this world. You know what I'm talking about? From seminary schools to theological schools to high-level institutions of learning. You know what I'm talking about? To different, you know what I'm talking about, denominations of faith. This happened all across the world. So I don't want nobody to be thinking that's all them Israelites like to do, because them crackers do it too. And them upper middle class people do it too. And them quote unquote elite people do it too. That's what people do. So the people who do that, they do that. And you know who suffer? The regular people who just want the word because they're not participating in these things. See, it's intellectual pontification from people who think they're above the people who the word actually for. You know what I'm talking about? Because remember what the Lord said. He said, man, the publicans and the harlots going to get in before you. But I digress. You know what I'm saying? In real life, we're trying to get poor and pure. And that's a fact. This is why he said the publicans and the harlots gonna get in before you, because when they heard the word, see a lot of people, man. Once you hit a theological mind, the actual perfection and pureness that the word is supposed to produce, it's no longer your concern because you want to debate about things of no consequence. See, nigga get the game twisted with me, man. See, I'm a real nigga. So I can navigate and move around in a multitude of different environments and arenas and different types and calibers of people because I know how to relate to people, period. I don't have to just be over here. I can 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 be over here. And I can relate to all these people. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people will be offended because some people are like, he's too aggressive or he's too brash and this, that, and the third. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But when I mean it is, right, somebody can see me in this environment. I'm going to 100% be myself every single solitary time because I'm not going to be who you think I should be or who you want me to be. But let me tell you something real. If I was to go into an environment of old Christian people, that doesn't mean I'm going to shrink who I am, but I do know how to communicate to them so that I can reach them. Because I'm going to relate to them on the area how they are relatable. That's what 1 Corinthians 9 is about. And I can go right in the hood with gangsters, killers, and drug dealers and fiends, and I can relate to them. And I can go to regular people who get up and go to work every day, don't do none of that, and I can relate to them. Because the objective is to get Yahushua HaMashiach in their mind and then let the Lord do the rest. You did? You know what I'm saying? Read Colossians 4 and 6, man. And then you can read 1 Corinthians 9 and 20. And I'm mentioning this here, not for myself. I'm mentioning this here so that you young men learn to develop that type of mind. You know what I'm saying? By the grace of Yahushua on top of it. Because when I'm dead, that's what you're going to have to do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to be able to know that. You're just not going to be able to just, well, I just want to talk like this. That's not, man. You got to be able to, amen. So you might save some. You're going to have to know how to interact with people where they at. That means that you're compromising or watering down the information. You're trying to relate to them in order to impart information. I always tell you what I learned from that book, Niggas to Guys, Volume 2, man. It's the biggest thing of being a communicator of information is that your audience understands what you're saying. And if your audience doesn't understand what you're saying, what was the point? What was the point? So you have to be malleable. You have to have the ability to be like water and become whatever container you in. I mean, you got to be able to meet these people where they at and talk to them how they understand. Straight up and down. Say different types of people and backgrounds. I always tell younger people it's good to be well versed in different things. Indeed, it is. Go ahead, Sabo.
Colossians 4.
Mm-hmm. He put up there verse what? 6.
They say, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man.
Indeed. It's got to. 1 Corinthians 9 and 20.
And unto the Yahudim I became as a Yahudim, that I might gain the Yahudim, to them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law.
Not under.
To them that are without the law, as without law, being not without law to Elohim, but under the law to Hamashiach, that I might gain them that are without law.
Indeed.
To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I made all things to all, that I might by all means save some.
The one thing you got to understand, remember, we know that Proverbs 11 tells us what? He that wins souls is wise. So if you're wise, you got kokma. That means you got skill. That's what this is him writing a letter with the personification of that passage. You dig? So you got to have skill, man. That's why he told you to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. That's why I tell you, man, this thing like that is a man. It's got to be in you, not on you. You got to have the level of skill to communicate. You have to have it. I told you before, this is a people's business. This is a people's business. And if you're not a people person, this is not the business for you. And when I say a people's person, I'm not talking about somebody who just want to talk to people. I'm talking about having a genuine love and care for people. Not what you can get out of people, not what level of attention you believe you can get, not the level of validation, but a genuine love and care for people. If you don't have that, you're going to be woefully ineffective and your incompetence is going to be seen in front of all. Straight up and down. Indeed, you have to be relatable. You have to have the ability to, because you're not going to save everybody. I'm going to keep it a bean. You can talk to 100 people. You might reach 3. That's just what it is. See, we be happy on, oh, he heard something, or he acknowledged what you said was true. See, we don't give a damn about that. That's a nigga who want quantity and quality. That's, you know what I'm saying? Who care about all that? We talking about reaching somebody who hear it, understand it, hold fast and do it, and bring forth the fruit thereof. If that ain't happening, who give a damn if they acknowledge a bit of information? It don't profit them. Your Father in heaven is not esteemed by that. But we be satisfied with that. And that's a mediocre servant. That's a mediocre hustler. You mediocre all the way around the board. Because you satisfied with just acknowledgement versus actual profit. When I say profit, I'm talking about success, gain, prospering. Because the prospering should be, this person should be converted to become a son of Elohim and then bring forth fruits meet for repentance. So that the character of Elohim is made plain and manifest in them. And that's why the testimony is important, because I'm telling you, if you don't know that, well, these people going to come with you with all type of stuff and mock you for believing in it, trying to tell you how the hell Horace, who wanted penis in his butt, the same as Yahusha, nigga, that is insane. You know what I'm talking about? If you know about Ball, we just talk about nigga, Ball was a freak. These are fertility guys, man. See, they hit you with that weeping for Tammuz. That's why them people finna do Lent. And it got nothing to do with Yahusha, period. See, they try to say, see, 40 days weeping for Tammuz. See, it was the 40 days he fasted. See, it was a 40. Nah, get your goofy behind out of here with that, nigga. I done read this story before. You not finna sell that to me, man. But when you ain't read them stories, man, and you don't know that information, man, it's gonna sound plausible to you. It's gonna sound plausible. Again, I reiterate it. You better know your truth twice as much, because Satan know his lie damn well, and he don't take no days off. You understand me? He don't take no days off. See, that part more people overlook by Les Brown, T.D. Jakes, and other brothers and sisters is their communication skills. They say Lent, that's right, Lent, Carnival, Mardi Gras, you know what I'm saying? All that's about Dionysus and Tammuz. That's what all that stuff is about, blood. But you don't know that. You think Mardi Gras is just a big old party. We broke down Mardi Gras last year. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to have to take the time to look certain stuff up so you understand the world around you and what these people are doing and why they're doing it. Now, I get it when you ain't into that type of stuff. You just think Mardi Gras, a big old party. These people worshiping another god. You don't know that, though. But they do. When I say they do, I'm talking about people who live in those cities or those countries where that's done. They know the background of it because it's a part of their culture. People in New Orleans know what Mardi Gras is for. People in the Caribbean know what Carnival is for. See, go over to 1 Peter 4 and 1. This is why Peter said this right here, so you don't get caught up in stuff like this here.
For as much then as the Mashiach have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
You saying that 3 out of 100 still being generous? You ain't lying. Go ahead.
He that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin.
He that suffered in the flesh done what?
Have ceased from sin.
What happened after that?
And he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of Elohim.
Indeed. Go ahead.
So for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness.
He said in times past it would have done us what?
Suffice us to have brought the will of the Gentiles.
It would have been suffice for us to work the will of the Gentiles.
When we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatry.
And them abominable idolatries are talking about them Bacchus feasts. Y'all remember that? And you remember what they do at them Bacchus feasts, man. Just like I told you the other day what the ex-Army Ranger was talking about with them Afghanis. That them men don't like women. That they see women strictly for procreation, that they homosexuals. And that's what them people had going on with them Bacchus feet. Them people were punks. That's what we were talking about Wednesday, man. When we was reading why we were talking about why them Canaanites got did like that. That wasn't no genocide. Them people were doing all type of stuff, and being a faggot was one of them. Them boys were Batiman. You know what I'm talking about? Them boys was biting pillars out this hole, man. That man, you know what I'm talking about? That's what these people on, but they're not going to tell you that a lot of these guys require sexual deviant behavior. They're going to leave that out. Because truth be told, that's why a lot of people got a problem with Yahuwah, because he don't permit sexual deviant behavior. You're not going to be a sexual degenerate and claim my name. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of people don't realize that where every other God under heaven save the almighty Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahuwah of hosts is his name. You can be the freakiest, nastiest, no good, slimiest nigga who ever walked the earth. You can't be that with him. See, there's a standard over there. There's requirements of you over there. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like they say, we talk about this all the time. We talk about this other day, right? You know, a lot of men don't require nothing from their old lady. That's why these dudes be on the internet crying this, that, then the third, because you don't require her to do nothing. When you look at a lot of these other guys, they don't require their servants to do nothing. Well, Yahuwah requires something from his old lady. You gonna have to put in, or you gonna get put out. A lot of people don't like that. What you mean you want something from me? What you mean, ho? You think you finna sit around here and do nothing? You think you finna benefit from me and you not finna do nothing? I'm not finna get nothing out of that, but you gonna get everything from me. Yeah, you smoking crack and stupid as the day you were born. Nigga, you crazy in your scalp. People don't like that. Because most people want something for nothing. They don't want to be required to do anything. That's why people want unconditional love. I told you before, man, a love without conditions is a love not worth having. That's a love not worth having. Unconditional love sounds good in theory. You want somebody to love you no matter what you do. Who the hell want that? So you can lie to me, beat me up, stab me, I'm still going to love you. Because you lying to me, you don't get your monkey behind from wronging me. No. He said, look up their background. You'll find they all went through Toastmasters, one of the premier communicators. And I can believe that too, because they get trained for it. You know what I'm saying? They get trained for it to be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, let's get back on task. 2 Corinthians 11:3. I went on that, but you need to know about that. Look at, man, that's a real book now. You can get you that book, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors. You know what I'm saying? You could take your time and you could look into them, and you're going to see that their stories are not the same. They are not the same. Indeed, Omar, you know what I'm saying? They're not the same, bro. They're not the same. But that's why a lot of people don't want to deal with the book of Yahuwah, man, because he got requirements, bud. I'm talking about kinfolk, he got requirements. You did? You enter into a covenant with him, he requires something from you. And what he requiring from you, he gonna give something back in return, so you can require it from him. This is why Micah, he say, hey man, I got a controversy with Zion. He say, plead with me and tell me what I ain't do. Read it for him, man. They think I'm making this up, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, Micah 6:1, man, I ain't making this up, man.
Hear you now when Yahuwah saith, arise, continue before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice.
Come on.
Hear you, O mountains, Yahuwah's controversy, and you strong foundations of the earth.
Come on.
Yahuwah have a controversy with his people.
He got a controversy with who?
With his people.
Why?
And he will plead with Yasharal.
Tell him what plead is right there, man.
That is Yakak, to approve, decide, judge, rebuke, reprove, correct, to be right.
He gonna correctly, man. Look here, man. Reprove. Come on, talk to him. Listen what he say.
Say, oh my people, what have I done unto you?
What have I done to you?
And wherein have I wearied you?
Where I done made you tired?
Testify against me.
He say, bear with. So guess what that means? If I ain't met the requirements that I said I was gonna meet for you, bear witness to where I ain't did it at. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's real nigga activity, man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't, they don't keep it no butt. He said, man, if I done weird, what I done did, man, bear witness to it. Because that means if you could bear witness to it, point it out, that means he gonna get it together. Go ahead.
For I brought you up out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of servants. And I sent before you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam.
Who are that?
Oh, my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and when Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him.
You know the story.
From Shittim unto Gilgal, that you may know the righteousness of Yahuwah. Wherewith shall I come before Yahuwah?
So when he mentioned Balaam and Balak, he said, when this man came to curse you, I ain't let that man curse you. I turned this curse into a blessing and took them people out. He said, from this place to this place, I ain't never folded on. Everything I said I was going to do for you, boy, I did it. That's right, Omar. You know what I'm talking about? I did it. He said, I got a controversy. I got contention with you. Come on, man.
So wherewith shall I come before Yahuwah and bow myself before the high Allah?
That's good, man. So 2 Corinthians 11:3. I'm gonna have to go in and out on these plagues, man.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in the Mashiach.
Come on.
For if he that come preach another Yahushua, whom we have not preached,
Whom we not
if you
preach,
receive another spirit which you have not received,
another one,
or another gospel which you have not accepted,
you ain't accepted that.
Well, bear with him.
Don't fool with that nigga. Come on.
Say, for I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles,
Mm-hmm.
but though I be rude in speech, yet not in
Now, when they say rude in speech, that mean unlearned. It don't mean rude as far as you hear rude. Read them the definition of the word so they don't think that I'm making this up.
That is idiotes. That is ignorant, rude, unlearned.
Ignorant or unlearned. He said, though I be rude in speech or unlearned in speech or ignorant in speech. What did he say?
So yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
He say, okay, if I'm unlearned in knowledge, but it's been made plain in all things that God is with me. Go ahead.
And have I committed an offense in abasing myself that you might be exalted because I preached to you the gospel of Elohim freely?
He said, since I've lowered myself.
Say, I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service.
Say, I got stuff from other assemblies just to give to you.
And when I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied.
So he said, look here, man, I ain't charged nobody from the word, but when I was down bad, the brothers over here looked out for me.
And in all things, I've kept myself from being burdensome unto you. So will I keep myself.
Go ahead.
As the truth of Amashak is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia. Wherefore, because I love you not, Elohim no.
Go ahead.
But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion.
Go ahead.
That wherein they esteem, they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles.
Such are what?
False apostles.
False what?
Apostles.
These fake emissaries, fake ambassadors.
Deceitful workers.
That mean they telling lies.
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Amashiach.
So they're changing themselves into emissaries. Remember, the emissaries and ambassadors of Mashiach have what? This is the context of the verse that people use wrong. Because he just said earlier, if somebody come preach you another Yahusha or bring another gospel or a different spirit than what we brought, don't fool with them. So if they're false apostles, guess what that mean they bring in? They don't have a testimony, so they bring in a false Yahusha. They're bringing you a false testimony. You have to pay attention to the context. You'll know why he's saying it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you have to know what an apostle does and what his first job is. They're the ambassadors and emissaries of a Mashiach. What did the apostles have that nobody else had? They had a testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. How many times over the years have we read Luke 24, verses 24 and 25, 44 to 46, where he gave them that word? How many times we done read about Paul in Acts 28 in his hired house teaching these people that? You know what I'm talking about? That's why that's important. Because if you don't have it, then a false apostle can get your goofy behind. You know what I'm talking about? Now, again, he ain't talking to people who don't have it. He talking to people who's supposed to have it. These people are supposed to know this. They've been taught it. Read the verse again.
It said, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Amashiach. So
Paul, remember, he said the apostles of Amashiach, what he told the apostles, man, in John 14, 15, and 16. He said, when the comforter come unto you, he'll testify of me. You know what I'm talking about? So that's coming. Because if they're an apostle of Amashiach, they're a representative of him. So you need to understand that. What does that mean? What does that look like? We're not talking about a pastor. You understand? We're not talking about a prophet. You're talking about an apostle, an emissary, an ambassador. Let me read you the definition of ambassador one more time, man, just in case you forgot. I give you emissary. Well, emissary is one who's sent forth. Y'all know that already. This is for people who may not know. When you look at an ambassador, this is an accredited diplomat sent by a country as its official representative, a person who acts as a representative or promoter of a particular body or activity. So when you understand that these are high-ranking officials who represent and promote a particular activity, These men represent and promote Yahushua HaMashiach. They were doing something that no one had ever done before them. Read Matthew 11 and 14 on general principle. I'm mentioning this here because this still relates to the two witnesses. What do you think the two witnesses are going to be bearing witness to? If you got the beast hating them. See, let's pause for a moment. Because we read First Kings 17, right? Where what his name is? Elijah, right? With the rain, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what I just asked you to read, Matthew 11, 14. Mm-hmm. Now, I want you to run that, and then we're going to come over here to 1 Kings 18. I want you to hear what this man did. Then we're going to go to Exodus 9. I want you to see who Moses and Elijah was testifying of. Come on.
And if you will receive it, this is Elijah, which was for to come. Mm-hmm. He that have ears, let him hear.
Let him hear.
For whereunto shall I liken this generation?
How?
It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, mm-hmm. and saying, we have piped unto you, you have not danced.
You ain't danced.
We have mourned unto you, you have not lamented.
Come on.
For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath a devil.
Mm-hmm.
The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber, a friend of publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children.
Come on. Then
began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done.
Come on.
They repented not.
Go ahead.
Woe unto you, Chorazin, woe unto you, Bethesda, for the mighty works which were done in you, they have been done in Tyre and Sidon. They would have repented long ago.
Paul. Mm-hmm. I got you too far out of the way. That's not bad. Go to 11 and 11. Matter of fact, make it 11:7. That's my bad. I had you too far down. Matthew 11 and 7.
And as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, what went you out into the wilderness to see?
What you went to see?
A reed shaken with the wind?
Mm-hmm.
Or what went you out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment?
Soft raiment?
Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in king's houses.
King's houses?
But what went you out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you.
More than a prophet.
For this is he whom it is written. Behold, I send my messenger before your face.
Now we're going to read Malachi in a moment. Go ahead.
Which shall prepare your way before you.
Go ahead.
Truly I say unto you, among them that are born of women,
there's none.
Have not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
What happened?
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of Shamayim is greater than he.
Go ahead.
And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of Shamayim suffer violence.
Suffer what?
Suffer violence.
Suffer what?
Violence.
Go ahead.
And the violent take it by force.
What else?
For all the prophets in the law prophesied until John.
All the prophets in the what?
In the law prophesied until John.
Now what happened?
And if you will receive it, this is Elijah, which was for to come.
Listen. Now you know when Luke can tell you that. Hold on. Let me just. What it is? Luke 11 too? Let me look and see. We need to press into it. You know, you like to press. That's what they say out west. You trying to press? You know what that means? Nigga tell you they trying to press. Nigga finna hurt you. Dagnabbit. I can't find that junk. Luke 16, man. You can read 16 and 13 on general principle.
No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Elohim and Mammon. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things, and they derided him. And he said unto them, you are they which justify yourselves before men, but Elohim know your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men
is an
abomination in the sight of Elohim.
What else?
The law and the prophets were until John.
What else?
Since that time, the kingdom of Elohim is preached.
And every man
press into.
Everybody got to get pressed in the testimony of Yahushua, man. Law and the prophets once John the Baptist came, law and prophets information was over with. Because why? Because what was John doing? Isaiah 40 and 3. After that, Malachi 3 and 1. And then Malachi 4 and 1. Because this is what he was doing.
The voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare you the way of Yahuwah, make straight in the desert a highway for our Elohim.
Prepare the way. Yahushua told you he the what? The way, the truth, and the life. Get it ready. Come on, remember John said he came to bear the way and that he must decrease so Yahushua could increase. Malachi 3:1. And after Malachi 4:1, 1 Kings 18 and 14. And then after that, Exodus 9.
Behold, I will send my messenger. He shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom you
he gonna send his what?
Shall send in my messenger.
And what he gonna do?
Prepare the way before me.
Why?
And the Lord whom you seek shall suddenly come to his temple.
Okay.
Even the messenger of the covenant whom you delight in.
Even the who? The messenger of his covenant. John the Baptist wasn't the messenger of the covenant. Continue.
Say, behold, he shall come, saith Yahuwah of hosts.
What else?
But who may abide the day of his coming, who shall stand when he appeared. He is like a refiner's fire.
And a fuller's soul.
And he shall sit as a finer and a purifier of silver. He shall purify the sons of Levi, purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Elohim an offering in righteousness.
That's good. Malachi 4:1. Now we're going to deal with the aspect to show you that Elijah and Moses bear witness of Yahuwah. That's what what you think the two witnesses going to be bearing witness to? Just talking to be talking? They're going to be bearing witness of him. How do we know this? Because what did we just read? The law and the prophets was till John. Now the kingdom of heaven is preached and all men are pressed into it. So just like I said, just for the hell of it, you did. Okay, you could say the two witnesses of Moses and Elijah. I ain't saying that. We can see that they have power that Moses and Elijah had. Even when you turn around and you look at what? The transfiguration and what you've seen them two doing. We're going to get to all that. We got a lot to deal with Zechariah 4. That ain't no light work. It's a multitude of different avenues and to go through. Go ahead, blood.
Say, for behold, the day come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
That means that's the day of the Lord. Somebody gonna die.
And the day that comes shall burn them up, saith Yahuwah.
Burn them.
Then it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
No branch.
But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise, with healing in his wings.
Healing in his what?
With healing in his wings.
And his wings meaning his borders, his extremities.
And you shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall.
That's right.
You shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet.
Under your feet.
The day that I shall do this, saith Yahuwah of hosts.
Come on.
Remember you the law of Moses, my servant.
Remember who?
The law of Moses, my servant.
What else?
Which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Yasharal with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet for the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahuwah. He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
Elijah coming back before that great and dreadful day. That's why, again, this is part of the reason why some people believe that he wanted the two witnesses. You know what I'm talking about? And again, for me, this is not an irrational or illogical standpoint to have. I'm just not going to say it because it explicitly don't say it. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Now, Rohan said, but they say Jesus doesn't change. He coming back for a different game. You know why people like to say that, blood? I'm down with you. Because, people already say it's two different gods. People don't like the Old Testament God, quote unquote, because he ain't play no game. We was having this conversation the other day. Dude, sister say, Jesus ain't talking about that. I said, boy, that man said he was going to kill people. What are you talking about? That man ain't say none of that. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because listen, people focus on the parts of something that they want to focus on. See, people focus on the negative, what they see in the Old Testament, and disregard the immense, magnitude of passages that speak about the mercy, grace, and love and forgiveness of the Almighty. You know what I'm talking about? All through Genesis and Malachi. They only want to focus on he was wrathful, he was this, he was that, because you a wicked bastard. So then you want to focus on, see, Jesus was love, this, that, there, and the third, because you think that's unconditional love that removes the culpability for you being a wicked bastard. So you're not going to pay attention to the places where you say, yeah, man, and you're going to go in the place where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched, or I'm going to send my Malachim to root out all that do wickedness, and they're going to be thrown in the furnace and they'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. You're going to skip over all of that. You're going to skip over what Paul say, hey, man, you know it said that those who do these things will not inherit. You're going to skip over that. because you feel like his sacrifice has absolved you from any matter of culpability. There's still culpability for your actions. This also shows you that this is the same God you've been dealing with the whole time. The difference is that the first covenant was not built on who he professed his name to be in Exodus 34. But see, they missed that. See, again, this is part of the testimony, you dig? So when you read Exodus 34 and you seen, well, okay, Moses done threw the 2 tables of stone down because why? The people committed sin. They worshiped another God. He tell them, come back up here and make the stones the same as the ones that I gave you the first time. And when he come back down, he say, hold up, blood, I'm finna proclaim my name, Yahuwah Elohim, merciful, gracious, abundant in goodness and truth, long-suffering, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression, by no means clears the guilty. And Moses' face shining off of that. So he's showing you the New Testament in the law off the top. He's showing you that. And he's showing you, when he proclaimed his name, he let you know what he was about. That's why when you read Ezekiel 18, he say, I take no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, because he already, when he proclaimed his name, he showed you what type of time he was on. How can he want you to go to hell if he say, I'm merciful and gracious and long-suffering and showing mercy unto thousands, and I forgive sin, iniquity, and transgression? Niggas, you dumb. That's who he is. Yahushua didn't come with a different advent of who he was. That's who he been the whole time. But you so stubborn, repugnant, just outright disobedient, I'm talking about, and indignant, that you not going to catch that. You say, I believe that it's going to be Enoch and Moses too, but Hosea and Zechariah make me wonder if it's going to be Shalathiel's kid and Yahushua. Shoot, I can't call it, blood. I ain't going to lie to you. You saw in short the king and the priest. And then, I can say, a lot of people have their reasonable thoughts. Indeed, Eric, that's not something, you know what I mean? I ain't never look at them in that capacity. Some people believe that one of them will be Enoch. You know what I'm saying? But people don't pay attention to that. Again, by the grace of Yahushua, man, it's year 13. We still got effectively 8 more months to actually hit year 13, because Lord willing, January out the door. You know what I'm talking about? So when you take that into account, we have not changed. And it's been the same. The same tenet, the same foundation, the same thing. We are built upon the chief cornerstone. You know what I'm talking about? So therefore, the testimony of Yahushua is the most imperative thing. You can add Rohan. Rohan done known me for a long time. I ain't changed nothing. When I say that, meaning that with the exception my sister and her husband, you know what I'm talking about? It's for the people who on here right now. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Trina and D'Eric and Drew, if they on here right now, they know me longer than any of y'all on here. And I ain't changed nothing. And if the Lord be merciful, I still ain't changing nothing. The message is going to stay concretely the same. I can't speak for what other people preaching, teaching, talking about. That ain't none of my business. You know what I'm talking about? The only thing I can tell you is this the pack that he gave me. He say, whip it like this. See what I'm saying? So we're going to go in there. We could take the microwavable bowl. We could take this Pyrex. We're going to put the baking soda in here. We're going to hit it with, we ain't got to hit it with that for. We just sit it, pop, let him lock. Splice them up, put them on the block, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. How you like fiends? You come back for some more. You know what I'm saying? Some people like it too strong. I don't want that. I need to go around the corner. They water down around there. I ain't mad at you, blood. Smoke what you're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, misspoke Elijah and Moses. He said, I'm Enoch spoiled chili. That's stupid, man. You know what I mean? But come on with it, blood. And for those, because I had to tell my dog this, I told my dog this other day. I said, man, hold up, blood. He said, man, I ain't no blood. I said, whoa, chill. I said, man, we don't gang bang down here, man. I say, I'm from the South, my nigga. And my people from the Bay. You know what I'm talking about? My mama was born in the Bay. They lived in Cali. They lived on the West Coast before they came here. We still got a multitude of people in the Bay. So when people in the South say blood, it's either young blood or blood for kinfolk, family, familial ties. And if you want to take it even word-wise, that man said he's one blood upon the earth, nigga. Because guess what? No matter what anybody want to say, everybody blood in this world, man, because everybody come from Adam. If you believe that narrative. Now, if you don't believe that narrative, then that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? You think it's people in the spirit of Elijah and Moses, and I wouldn't disagree with that, especially with John the Baptist as being a prototype for that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't disagree with that at all. It's perfectly plausible and flat out reasonable for that matter. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what that means. You know what I'm saying? Before because people down here always, because we're not on the West Coast, we don't gang bang down here. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody be like, "What's up, blood?" or "What's going on, blood?" that's gonna be black man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, nigga didn't become a super duper regular used word. You know what I'm saying? All the time. The nigga like, "Oh, shut up, nigga," but now it's nigga this, nigga that. Or you could be like Jigga, nigga what? Nigga who? You listen like that song, boy? Oh, that might be for your time. That was 1999. How old you was in 1999? Yeah, that's for your time. You knew about that song?
I heard it.
That's Originators. That was his original flow. You know that song? You don't know that damn song. Go ahead. She don't listen to Jay-Z. Man, nigga what? Nigga who was a radio record. It wasn't no bad song. It wasn't no song you would listen to all the time. Go ahead. That wasn't even 98. 99. I tell you that better. That was 1998.
Okay, he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And that's the end of that.
Come on, Jazzo did do his thing. 1 Kings 18-14, and I can rock with that, Joseph. That Joseph is even in the spirit of Elijah and Zerubbabel like Moses. I can rock with that.
And now you say, "Go tell your Lord, behold, Elijah is here, he shall slay me." And Elijah said, "As Yahuwah of hosts live, before whom I stand, I will surely show myself unto him today." So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went to meet Elijah. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah that Ahab said unto him, "Are you he that trouble Yasharal?" And he answered, "I have not troubled."
He said, "Are you he that what?
Trouble Yasharal."
That's how they feel that the two witnesses doing trouble in the earth.
And he answered, "I have not troubled Yasharal, but you and your father's house, and that you have forsaken the commandments of Yahuwah. You have followed Balaam. Now therefore send and gather to me all Yasharal into Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450.
450.
And the prophets of the groves 400, and eat at Jezebel's table."
That's right.
So Ahab sent unto all the children of Yasharal, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel.
What happened?
And Elijah came unto all the people and said, "How long halt you between two opinions?"
How long halt you between what?
Two opinions.
Two what?
Opinions.
What happened?
If Yahuwah be Elohim, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
That's good. Now, you know why we read that? So you can see that Elijah's main rhyme, reason, and purpose was to do what? Testify Yahuwah. That's who we were bearing witness to, that he was God, correct? Exodus 6. It's not 9. It's Exodus 6. Hold on. Pause. We don't want that. That's him talking, and that's something different. It might be 9. I'm tripping. I look right at 9, roll right on past it. Yeah, go to Exodus 9:1 and run that. Tell them what it say. Exodus 9:1.
It said, "Then Yahuwah said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go that they may serve me."
Let my people what?
Go that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and will hold them still, behold, the hand of Yahuwah is upon your cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. And Yahuwah shall sever between the cattle of Yasharal and the cattle of Egypt. There shall nothing die of all that is the children.
That's good. Now read verse 13.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, "Rise up early in the morning, stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go that they may serve me.
What else?
For I'll at this time send all my plagues upon your heart,
and upon your who?
Servants,
and upon your who?
Your people,
that you may know what?
There is none like me in all the earth.
For I will now
stretch out my hand that I may smite you,
and your people with what?
With pestilence,
that you might be what?
Cut off from the
and
earth.
In very deed.
For this cause have I raised you up, for the showing you my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
And as yet
you exalt you yourself against my people, that you will not let them go."
Pause. Now you see what Moses just did? Now I need you to understand how this relates to the end. Because the beast's getting pissed off, right? Now he just said, go testify against this whole nigga. and let him know that I'm raising this coward up to let my power be known, because you won't let these people go. Now, what you think the beast getting raised up for? So that his power might be made known. This is why I want you to understand how you can see, like Joseph said, if it's not Moses and Elijah, they come in the spirit of Moses and Elijah. Because Moses testified to the son of perdition of his time to his face. You know what I'm saying? Elijah testified, you serving another God? Nah, serve Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? I needed to understand the concept of what's going on. So when this man tell you, I'm Yahuwah Elohim, I change not, know that he gonna run this down the same way. So when the play get ran, you know who running it. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna read this here. I want you to focus on verse 14, because I ain't want you to skip verse 14 to Exodus 9. This man say, I'm gonna send my plagues upon your heart and upon your servants and upon your people. You know we can read that in Revelation, right? You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, do me a favor, blood. Revelation 16 and 13, let that be known. He said, it might even say the Philadelphians and Smyrnians, but that's a story for another day. My God, today. Notice also verse 17, you exalt yourself against my people. What does Daniel tell you that this man gonna do? Have indignation with those who keep the Kadash covenant? What does Exodus 35 say? He gonna blaspheme himself and exalt himself above the God of gods. You gotta pay attention. This is why the testimony is important. You won't get deceived. That's why he say, take heed that no man deceive you. I've told you before. This is what, again, I mentioned the ambassadors. This is what an emissary is. A person sent on a special mission. You know what I'm saying? To represent another person, organization, or government. You know what I'm saying? To perform a specific task. Their specific task was to testify of Yahusha, representing the kingdom of Elohim or the government of Elohim. Since I said that, read me Isaiah 9 and 6 on general principle. Now, when you look at the definition of apostle, of course, that's each of the 12 disciples of Yahushua HaMashiach, and it says a true meaning of the disciple is a messenger or ambassador. Pioneers or ardent supporters of any new cause or belief. But they're a messenger, an envoy. An apostle, for all intents and purposes, is the Hebrew equivalent of a malak, a messenger. You know what I'm talking about? That's why he says that I've sent my messengers B-time, sending them. But remember, the law and the prophets was until John. That's what they were bearing witness to, the messenger, the malaks of aforetime. The malaks after John, they bearing witness to Yahushua HaMashiach. You understand? So he says the core meaning is someone sent on a special mission, carrying a message or acting as a representative. They are, remember, pause. Read that for me. 2 Corinthians 5 and 17 first. And then what I just asked you to read?
Isaiah 9.
And then you can read Isaiah 9 and 6. Come on with it, blood.
Say, therefore, if any man be in a Mashiach, he is a new creature.
That's right.
Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new.
Come on.
All things are of Elohim, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahushua HaMashiach, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
Giving us the what?
The ministry of reconciliation.
And what Paul said he is. Keep on going.
You say, to wit, that Elohim was in a Mashiach, reconciling the world unto himself.
Why?
Not imputing the trespasses unto them, and have committed unto us the word of reconciliation. Now then, we are ambassadors.
We are what?
Ambassadors.
We are what?
Ambassadors for Hamashiach.
And what they do in Elohim's steed?
As though Elohim did beseech you by us, we pray you, and Hamashiach's steed, be you reconciled to Elohim.
Now, I want you to read the definition of ambassador in his steed.
That is presbyterio, that is to be older, prior by birth or an age, to be an ambassador, to
you
act
look
as an
at a presbyter. You know what I'm saying? You get the church that you now call Presbyterian, which means an old person. But then it also means an ambassador or a representative. So when he's telling you that we are the representatives of Hamashiach, this is what he's telling you. Now keep that in mind. Now give him in his steed.
And steed is huper, in behalf of, for the sake of.
On behalf of. We're speaking on his behalf. And you know what that take you back to? Shalom, Brother Shaul. You know what that take you back to in your law? We don't want to talk to Elohim. Let Moses talk to us. Because Moses would be technically your first apostle, because he's your first messenger, because he was the representative of Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? He was his representative. Whether people like it, accept it or not. That's what he did. That's what it was. You know what I'm talking about? Now we're talking about the second aspect of apostleship. What's going on outside of God teaching them directly? So notice what he said, man. This man said, we are the ambassadors. We are the representatives, and we pray you and Hamashiach's stead. They say we're doing this on his behalf, because what did he come in behalf of? That you repent and be reconciled. Give him reconciled by definition. In the Greek, I should say. And then we'll go to Isaiah 9:6.
That is katalasso, to change, exchange as coins for others of equivalent value, to reconcile those who are at variance, to return to favor with, to be reconciled to one, to receive one into favor.
So are we looking at, we could look at the Hebrew word for grace. You know what I'm talking about? The word is escaping me, right? Rakam. You know what I'm talking about? We could look at the Hebrew word for repent, shuv, or we could look at kafar, which is the atonement or the reconciliation. You understand? Would take us right back to Daniel 9. This is what he's saying. We doing this on, because that's what the Mashiach came to do. So guess what? If they're not talking about you being reconciled to God, if they're not preaching you Yahushua HaMashiach, guess what they are? A false apostle. You understand? That take you back to what we read in the 2 Corinthians 11. If they're not doing that, he ain't sending them to do that, because that's not the information or the message that he gave to his representative to impart. That's why he said if they come preach another gospel, if they come preach another Yahusha, if they come in another spirit, and how do we know talk about another spirit? Because what the apostle said, should we ask for fire to come down from heaven like Elijah? He said, whoa, 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 you don't know what manner of spirit you have. We didn't come to destroy men's lives. We came to save them. So if a nigga coming around here running up on people talking about, we going to destroy you, God going to destroy you, he got the wrong spirit on him. Because he said he would draw you with love and kindness. That's what the book say. This is why we take the time to delineate this stuff, and you'll know who is of God and who is not. Because you can tell me you got the Holy Ghost, the Ruach. You can tell me you can make your mouth fry fish, nigga. If you don't line up with the character, nigga, I know you lying. I ain't got to run around and say you lying. It's apparent in your behavior that you lying. I ain't got to do that. Man, we keep talking about, man, this game here is to sit back and peep the play and move accordingly. You ain't got to run around screaming and hollering all that extra stuff, my nigga. You understand? If you are his ambassador, you're going to come as he came. That means the message is the same, your behavior is the same, and the message is repent and be reconciled. Get the atonement. That's the message, according to the testimony, because that's what they brought. That's what they brought. All that extra stuff, man, that's just whatever. That's cannon fodder. You know what I'm talking about? This is why I said that earlier. There's a difference when you're in theological spaces and when you go outside the real people. You know what I'm talking about? Because when you're in theological spaces, you can't have reconciliation conversation. But when you go outside to the lost and the downtrodden and the broken and this, that, there, and the third, that's the only message you can bring, blood, because that's the only thing they're looking for. Man, you niggas ever been outside and seen lost souls, my nigga? And when I'm talking about lost souls, man, I'm talking about the definition of lost. That means perish, destroyed. Abad is the word. You ever seen that, man? Because if you've been outside and seen that, you have seen it because you was one of them. Now imagine, you know what I'm saying? The lost souls I seen different, because boy, we was outside committing crimes, man. You ever looked at a nigga, seen the pain in his eyes, man? You ever looked in a young lady's eyes, seen the pain in her soul, my nigga? You ever seen that before? Hell, have you ever looked in the mirror and seen the pain in your own eyes, my nigga? You know what I'm talking about? And you think a nigga give a damn about this stuff these niggas be talking about? Listen, man, like I said, I can float around such and such, such and such. You know what I mean? Because, see, I can know the difference, right? Because the people who I fool with on this particular application, man, they regular people. We can talk about the word, but we could be ourselves at the same time. See, I can fool with that. See, I don't like pretentious niggas. I don't like niggas that want to fake like they got all day long, but you're wicked when ain't nobody looking. I can't fool with that. Just be you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could be godly and still be you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Niggas act like I got to talk about the word 24/7. Nigga, stop. You want to talk about the word, but you don't live it. When a nigga looking, you're fondling yourself. You just like that nigga on that TV show you were looking at, nigga, you're blind. Nigga went blind, literally went blind from touching himself. Not for real. That nigga went blind from taking too much Viagra. Ain't that something? For touching this, he was touching himself. I forgot he was touching himself. That boy said he watched so much porn when he was young, he would have taken Viagra. Because he couldn't get it up for the woman because he was touching himself too much. That boy was standing in the room. He said, I can't see. I'm blind. It's only funny because it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was real, you'd be like, damn, you crack jokes about people going blind from touching themselves, but then to see somebody that could happen is crazy. I'm talking about brother show literally come on, white boy standing in his dorm room. He said, I'm blind. I can't see. What happened? I can't see. Then he had to be embarrassed. His mama had to find out he was taking Viagra, raping himself. And you know why it's funny, Timmy? Because that means it happened to somebody in this world before. For them to put this on the show. It happened to somebody before. You know what I'm talking about? Now, they said it was an underlying condition, but I'm not going to give credit to that. Because that's going to destroy the joke. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, come on with it, man. Isaiah 9:6.
So for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
That's what we want to hear. The what's going to be on his shoulder?
The government.
The what's going to be on his
government.
Shoulder?
And his name shall be called Wonderful.
Give him government by definition. He said, they got some stories like that on Criminal Minds, I think. That's wild.
That's Ms. Ra. That is rule, dominion, government.
So understand, rule, dominion of government. Why is this important? Because what was Moses proclaiming to Pharaoh? The rule and dominion and government of Yahuwah. And Pharaoh was seeking to exalt himself above the rule, dominion, and government of Yahuwah. So go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Like I said, man, with Zechariah 4, it's a lot of moving parts. This might go in the next week. Y'all will, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Because that stuff we got to pinpoint out of Zechariah 3 and stuff we need to pinpoint out of Zechariah 4 and the constant cross-referencing that we're going to need to do from Exodus and Kings to Revelation to Zechariah 4, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. I ain't going to lie to you. It's going to be a lot. Because while I was listening to dude talking about how you think the end time going to be, man, I almost threw my phone in the toilet. Then he talking about, yeah, man, AI. They say they're going to make it with AI. You can be able to talk to dead family members. That's the image of the beast. I say, God damn it. That's about to throw my phone, man. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I just be wanting to listen to people's perspective. Sometimes their perspective make my brain hurt. And I don't be wanting to listen to people's perspective to ridicule them about it. I just be wanting to hear where people be coming from. But some stuff, and I'm saying this being facetious though, about wanting to throw me in my brain. But I say that because a lot of stuff be conspiracy theory based. So and the reason why I could be frustrated with it, because I didn't necessarily jump out the window with conspiracy based type things, but we was in them circles in our teens and early 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister in Georgia, that's how we linked up, because my cousin was like, hey, talk to my cousin who in prison about that. It's for was like the mark of the beast and things like that, because he talked about that. And I wasn't in no book, but we was on that type of stuff. You feel me? So I know they looking at, AI and things like that, but they're divorcing what the text is talking about with the image of the beast. AI ain't got nothing to do with the image of the beast, because the image of the beast is dealing with literal idolatry. Literal idolatry, literally worship another god. Oh, they bringing the mark of the beast with digital currency. Nah, bro, you're going to have to enter into a covenant with Satan, blood. And I know it sounds like, and I could get why because what are they doing this here? But nah, bro, you're divorcing the biggest part of the play, which is what Satan really wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? So when the time comes where you're going to have to make a decision, because remember, he said, let my people go that they might serve me. You're exalting yourself above them. Man, that man say he going to make war with the saints and overcome them. He going to make war with the woman and the remnant of her seed that have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach and keep the commandments of Elohim. You can't divorce that from the play. That's the biggest part of the play. Who you going to serve, Yahuwah or the devil? You understand? We know Daniel 11 said, hey, man, he going to make intelligence with those who forsake the Kadash covenant. So if he teaching you, that means you entered into it. See, that's the part that people don't want to have to look into. Bro, it's not no fantastical New World Order story. The white man, boy, it's God or Satan. It's the giver of life or the devil. And you're going to have to pick a side, blood. What you think the two witnesses bearing? What did we read Elijah just said? Man, how long you gonna halt between two opinions? If Baal be God, serve him. If Yahuwah be God, serve him. Now take this into account when you're dealing with the beast during that time period. You think people want to hear that? Who worshiping this nigga? Knowing he took a deadly wound, it was healed, and all the world wonder after the beast, man. And knowing that this man got understanding of dark sentences and through craft, he gonna destroy many. You got to understand the play. You can't be walking around here like a goofy looking for some great fantastical story when the beauty and the greatness of the stories is in its simplicity. That's why he said, don't let nobody corrupt you from the simplicity of a Mashiach like the serpent did Eve. Because you want some great fantastic stuff, because the greatness is always found in the fundamentals of simplicity. See, all that extra stuff and flash and pomp, that's for niggas who ain't got no substance. Case in point, this ain't the case all the time. I'm just using a natural example. A lot of niggas who weird and goofies, who can't get no women, you know what they try to do? The biggest, most expensive car they can find, the biggest rims they can put on it, you know what I'm saying? The biggest of jewels to distract you from the fact that I ain't got nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Conversely, what do women do in that space? Let me wear the shortest of skirts so you can see my yams. Let me wear the lowest cut of short shirt so you can see my cleavage. If I got on pants, let them be tight enough that you might see my birth canal. Because the reality of the matter is that there's nothing to me other than the orifices that are on my body. That's all I got. So I have to point to these things to distract you. You know what I'm saying? But the people who are of substance, they don't need all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? If they had, well, except for the butt naked part. If they had that stuff, it's just an accessory for the sake of accessory, not for the fact that I need pomp and circumstance to draw you in. See, Satan need pomp and circumstance. You ain't never noticed that Yahuwah ain't never send nobody with pomp and circumstance. You ain't never paid attention to that. Moses didn't come with no pomp and circumstance. David didn't come with no pomp and circumstance. Yahushua said the birds of the air have nests, the foxes have holes, the son of Adam have nowhere to lay his head at. He didn't come with pomp and circumstance. So that means that he didn't come with all these extra things to distract you, because that's what humans are drawn to. That's why he say, man, look on outward appearance, Elohim, look on the heart, because that's what you care about. That's why people are so entrenched on the thought process of a pastor got to be rich. Like what we were talking about the other week. That's why people, because that pomp and circumstance, see, God got to be with him. He got the car, he got this, he got that, he got this. That's what's drawing you in, not the word, because you ain't want the word. You know what I'm saying? Because see, if there's no pomp and circumstance, then the only thing left in the plain visible view of an individual is the Ruach of the Almighty Elohim. And that don't appeal to most people. My God, today. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't deem it valuable. That's why I always told you, man, a lot of people don't want to deal with the testimony of Yahushua because there is no vainglory that you can get from it. You can't lift yourself up on high with that. There's no way possible it could be done. Not if you actually preaching it. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you preaching Yahushua HaMashiach and Ruach in the truth, the only thing you can be doing is esteeming the Son. And if you esteeming the Son, you esteeming the one who son him. There's no way that you can take the true basar, the true basora of Yahushua HaMashiach and monetize it or get some type of praise and esteem for yourself from it. It's not possible. Dare I say it's impossible to do. You know what I'm saying? It can't happen. There's no way you can do it. Because the simple fact is because that word is going to turn the hearts of men back to God and actually bring forth the fruits of righteousness that come from the Almighty Elohim. So there's no way that could be done. That's why people don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling you that for years because I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I've observed. You know what I'm saying? See, the roundabout, circular theological conversations, Godhead talk, virgin birth talk, can Gentile, all that type of stuff. That's stuff where you could turn around and you could make it about you. Some way, somehow, you can make it about you. You can't do that with the gospel of Yahushua. It's got to be about God. Can't be about nobody other than him. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And the beauty of it is the simplicity of it. It's not even complicated. It's so beautiful that his witness is hidden in plain sight. When I tell you that verse ain't talking about that, it ain't then. You know what I mean? It ain't then. See, it's hard for people to say some of the verses we read, man. If I sit down with some of the people I fool, they be like, that verse ain't talking about Jesus. Okay, it's not. What you want me to argue about it? I just told you what it was talking about. If you don't agree with it, then don't agree with it then. What that mean to me? I know what it's talking about. Come on with it, bud. Where we at with it?
Just read Isaiah 9 and 6.
Oh, okay. Run me Luke 9:28. Let's get to it. After that, you can read Romans 9 and 11. We're in Luke 9 and 28, then we're going to read Romans 9 and 11. You can make it 10, actually. Let you who will be esteemed. Come on with it.
And it came to pass about 8 days after these things, he took Peter and John and James and went up into a mountain to pray.
And he prayed.
As he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered.
And his raiment
was white and glistering.
And behold,
there talked with him 2 men.
Which were who?
Moses and Elijah.
Which appeared.
And esteemed and spake of his decease, which he should accomplish at Jerusalem.
Now, this is the wildest part. When we talk about this, they spake of his what?
Of his decease.
That he should what?
Accomplish at Jerusalem.
Now, when they say spake of his decease, it's not stating that Moses and Elijah brought that to him, because he could have been talking to them about that. Now, we know that because he told you that prophets desired to know the things that he telling them, and they hadn't known them. So he's speaking of what's going to happen to him. Now, could this be something alluding to what they'll bear witness to later? God knows. But continue.
But Peter and they that were with him were heavy with sleep, and when they were awake, they saw his esteem and the 2 men that stood with him.
And it came to pass.
As they departed from him, Peter said unto Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah, not knowing what he said.
Now, of course, how God had to put that in his mind. How would he know what Moses and Elijah looked like? How would he know that? He ain't never seen them before. Go ahead, man.
While he thus spake, there came a cloud and overshadowed them. They feared as they entered into the cloud. There came a voice out of the cloud saying, This is my beloved son, hear him.
Now, remember, we talked about this. He spake of his decease. So you know what that means he was doing with him? Because remember, it tell you the apostles didn't even know the scripture said he would resurrect from the dead. He was giving them the game of what to play with. You understand? Now, read me Romans 9 and 10. I'm going to swing back over here. But before you read it, I'm going to swing back around here to Revelation 11. I still hold a Revelation 6. I don't think we hold nothing else. But listen, when they tell you right over here in Revelation 11 and 7, that when they finish their testimony, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit will make war with them and shall overcome them and kill them. Now it says that they're going to prophesy 1,260 days. Now we know if they prophesy, guess what that means? Based on what we've been dealing with for the last few months. What Revelation 19 and 10 tell you? The testimony of Yahushua is the ruach of prophecy. So if they're prophesying, they're going to be testifying of the Son. Come on with it, bud.
They say, not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the person of Elohim according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called.
Of him that called.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Listen.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Elohim?
God forbid.
For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
And I have compassion.
On whom I will have compassion.
What else?
So then if not of him that will, nor of him that run,
but of him that what?
But of Elohim that show mercy.
That's right.
For the scripture said unto Pharaoh,
what he said?
Even for the same purpose have I raised you up, that I might show my power in you.
What else?
My name might be declared throughout all the earth.
But his name might be what?
declared throughout all the earth.
Come on with it.
Therefore, have you mercy on whom he'll have mercy, and whom he will harden. And whom he will, he harden.
That's right.
You will say then unto me, why do we yet find fault? For who have ye resisted?
Who have resisted his will?
No.
With nail, man.
Who are you that reply against Elohim?
Shall not the
thing formed say to him that formed it, why have you made me thus?
Go ahead.
Not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor
and one vessel
unto dishonor?
What else?
What if Elohim, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
Now, he said the vessels of wrath fitted to what?
To destruction.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. That's what we call for them to read, but it's appropriate now. Because now that's how you see the same thing with the beast. He said this is what Pharaoh was made for. So his power be made known. He was a vessel made to wrath so that the vessels of mercy could understand his mercy. And that his name might be declared in the whole earth. That's the same thing he gonna do with the son of perdition, the beast, the anti-Messiah, whatever you want to call the whole nigga. Go ahead.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not
come. And again, and because it just hit my mind, so I won't say this here, right? While we talking about him, this causes us to double back about the conversation. I think it was last week or the week before that we had about the adversary. So that you, number one, that you're not ignorant of his devices, and that you understand that he is not someone to be scared of, that he is a coward. Listen, the one when you play football or you're in a combat sport, boxing, MMA, so to speak, even basketball, hell, even baseball, if you're a pitcher or a hitter, the one thing that you look for is the weaknesses in your opponent. You understand? That's what you look for. You look for those weaknesses for the purposes of exploiting those weaknesses, so that you might obtain victory. You understand? This is part of the reason why the adversary stepped to Mashiach after he fasted for 40 days. He's in a period of weakness. We talk about this verse all the time. Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation, for the Ruach is willing, but the flesh is weak. This is why he say those of us who are in Mashiach, we are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. You understand? Because when you carnally minded, you in a weak position, he gonna seek to exploit that. But when you resist him steadfast in the faith, and you not ignorant of his devices, and you understand that he's just a liar and a tempter and an accuser, and an adversary, an opponent, when you understand who he is and what he does, there's no fear of him. So you got to understand something. You have to take your weaknesses and turn them into strength. Trust in Yahuwah forever, for trusting Yahuwah is everlasting strength. And when you weary, he told you in Isaiah, he will renew your strength. And the joy of Yahuwah is your strength. So if you stay in the joy of Yahuwah and you keep your mind stayed on him, so you be in perfect peace, because trusting in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. Man, this pussy nigga can't do nothing to you. Because then you'll be able to resist him steadfast in the faith. He don't want to fight somebody who's strong. That's the definition of a coward. Because I don't really want for real opposition. I got to catch you when you're down bad. I got to catch you when you're at your lowest. That's the only chance I got. I can't whoop Yahuwah on no head up fade. He already know that. But you don't know that. So again, you give this pussy nigga too much credit for what he can do. As long as you go in the, listen here, man, we talked about this the other day, man. You understand? The man say, man, Yahuwah's taught my hands how to fight and how to war. The man done gave you the gospel so you know how to fight. We just talked about it, hey, man, take the sword of spirit, take it. Man, he trying to train you how to fight. Nigga, you scared? He said, resist him steadfast in the faith, he'll flee from you. That means anybody who locked in, well, whole nigga, what's happening then? He don't want that fade. He don't want that fade. He don't want nobody going, well, what's happening then? You 10-toe flat. Look at me. I don't even think I know I sent that to Fat Boy. Boy, it was a video of a security guard out there in California, two niggas went, and I respect the two Mexican dudes or whatever they wore, because they ain't jumping. They fought him one-on-one. Boy, he knocked both of them out. Now, the difference between Satan and them niggas is after they fought, both of them men walked up and shook his hand as a sign of respect. Because he ain't like, you know what I'm saying? Look, when he knocked him down, he ain't Mardi Gras or nothing. There's just two men, we got an issue, and we see the only way to settle this issue is with fisticuffs. It happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It happens sometimes. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm mentioning on that is Satan is not like that. He don't want no head up thing. Case in point, because we were talking about this here, right? With Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. I know a lot of niggas jump on stuff because niggas want to be super tough, but I've seen situations like that in my life. Neither one of them niggas wanted to fight. Now, I'm not saying neither one of them wanted to fight because of necessarily fear. They could have different motivations of why they don't want to fight. Because we didn't talk about this before. When you got something to lose, you assess things differently. See, everybody who be like they would have did this and did that, they ain't got nothing to lose, so they don't care. But Anton got something to lose. Corey got something to lose. See, one person, it's easy to be tough and you got armed security right here. You can't see that on the camera. It's easy to be tough. You understand what I'm telling you? Because I'm just telling you from a man's standpoint, regardless of what was said, when a man get face to face, nose to nose with you in an aggressive fashion, that's already a threat to fight. Ain't even no need to go outside. You've already been threatened to fisticuffs. So the fact that you didn't even respond to that with any like, hey man, back up off me, you ain't want to fight anyway. At the same token, that nigga ain't want to fight either, because when a nigga told you you put people's penis in your mouth, you ain't walk up and slap the fire out of them. Because ain't no say it again. Now some people be like, well, he ain't say it again. He ain't had to say it again. The disrespect has already been communicated. You know what I'm talking about? Now, again, I'm not saying that neither one of these men was scared of each other. What I'm talking about, this was not an instance where people wanted to stand toe-to-toe and tussle. That's not what they wanted to do. Satan moved the same way. He don't want to stand toe-to-toe and tussle. Read it for him, man. And James 4:6. Read it for him. And you got to know that. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that.
But he give more grace. Wherefore he saith, Elohim resist the proud, but give grace unto the humble.
Come on.
Submit yourselves therefore to Elohim.
Submit yourselves to who?
To Elohim.
What's going to happen?
Resist the devil.
And he'll do what?
He will flee from you.
That man, look here, man. All you got to do is resist him. Tell him what resist mean again in case they forgot. Because Peter told you resist him steadfast in the faith.
This is saying this to me. This is to set oneself against, to withstand, resist.
Which is a mod. I'm against you. I'm against you. This is what the two witnesses is doing. That's why the beast don't like them. This is why he want to make war with the remnant of her seed. You understand? This is why the testimony is important. If you don't have a testimony, man, Satan don't care about you. You ain't no threat. You ain't no threat. Listen here, man. A lot of people make up a lot of stuff, man, thinking you a threat. Man, that nigga ain't scared of you, blood. I told y'all this plenty of times before. People don't like to hear it be said because people just crazy and retarded. Man, ain't a woman on earth a threat to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Some people like, oh, when the matriarch take over. Man, let me tell you something real, man. And I was talking about this the other day, man. And y'all know this because I've expressed this tenet to you on a multitude of occasions. Don't nobody give up power. Power has to be taken. Nobody gives up land. Land has to be taken. See, people want to come up with all this stuff about why they fight wars because you goofy. And when I say goofy, I mean in this instance, you're immature. And what are you immature to? Understanding the dynamics of power and control. You understand? You're immature to that. Because that's all really goofy means, is you just being immature. You know what I'm talking about? You haven't matured in a certain aspect. So you really think war's been fought for women. Any grown man who walking around here, or any grown woman for that matter, talking about men fight wars for women, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? And when I say stupid, I mean that you're willfully believing lies with doing no research. You thought the war in 1812 was fought by the woman. You thought the Punic Wars was fought by a woman. You think the Crusades was fought by the woman. You think the overrun of Troy was for a woman? Like, you simple. But you know where you get that from? Because they put that in movies and make you think that men fight for women. You know who fight for women? Poor people do. The elites, And the power brokers of the world, they don't fight wars for women because they know that's absolutely stupid. We got women. We ain't got to fight no war for no women. The women come to us. We got the money and the power. What we look like going to war for a woman? But it's a manipulative effect to allow women to believe that they have more power and control and influence than they actually have when it's really influence on lesser men. Because you won't find a war in human history where any man fought a war because he was influenced to fight it by the words, thoughts, or opinions of a woman. You're not going to find one. Because that's not why wars are fought. Wars are fought, as Omar just mentioned, is power dynamics. It's always power dynamics. Let's look what power dynamics is. Because that's what you have to understand. Once you understand that, you look at the world from a different perspective. But if you look at it from the perspective of, listen, power dynamics refers to the way power influences and controls and is distributed and exercised between individuals, groups, within relationships, organizations, and societies. These shifting, often unequal interactions determine how decisions are made, resources are allocated, and behaviors are influenced. That's what power dynamics is about. Again, this is the cause to how power influence, and control is distributed and exercised in relationships, organizations, and societies so that you can understand how things are shifted and how resources are allocated. Indeed, GP, social studies, and how behavior is influenced. Once you begin to look at that, now you turn around and look at it. What the beast trying to do? See how resources are allocated, trying to influence behavior and an unequal thing. And guess what? A lot of people ain't going to want to look at it this way, but when Yahushua coming back through, he doing the same thing because resources going to be allocated to Israel. You're going to spoil these people like you spoiled the Egyptians. Behavior going to be influenced. You're going to come to Zion and you're going to be taught of Yahuwah, and the word going to go forth from Jerusalem. You know what I'm talking about? And it's going to be unequal because he going to reign and ain't no conversation about it. That's power dynamics. So when you look at power dynamics, ain't nobody moving no power dynamics for no woman, man. People not fighting wars on whims. That's what they communicate to the masses, truth be told, because they don't respect your level of intelligence. So they believe they can tell you anything and you going to go for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just painting the picture of a harsh reality that we don't like to accept because you want to believe that on the world power stage, you're more important than what you are, but you're not. You want to know how they're trying to use power dynamics to influence people because you think this thought about protesting ICE and all this stuff, you think that's organic? You think this stuff they doing with these immigrants, you think that's organic? That's power dynamics at play because you literally seeing how behavior is being influenced. You're literally seeing how policies are being dispensed. You literally seeing how they're going to take resources, in this instance, people, and reallocating them. You're seeing it in real time and you think it's organic. You don't realize a white man in a suit sitting in a room with no windows made decisions on your life and you accepted them that left you doomed. Know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what you ain't realizing. Versus sitting back looking at, there's a man sitting on a throne in heaven whose name is forever blessed and esteemed, who made decisions on your life that will give you life. Because with his power dynamics, it's to benefit you. These people's power dynamics is to benefit themselves. You got to accept that. You got to look here, man. You think people fighting gender wars in America because it's organic? You think all this stuff people doing over here is organic? Blood, you think this came from the people? Boy, we out here like puppets on the string, blood. Them people telling you to dance and you dance. They telling you to sing and you sing. They telling you to fetch and you say how fast you want me to catch it. But we really walk around here thinking that you're thinking for yourself. You don't believe you've been socially engineered. That's the beauty of social engineering. If it's done properly, you won't even realize you've been influenced by it. That's why I asked you a couple weeks ago, why do you hold the perspectives that you hold? Why do you hold the values that you hold? Where did you get them from? What are they based in? I've seen people arguing about a lady say, hey, man, why is it a problem to want to provide a male? Ask yourself this question, where the hell that conversation came from? Because there wasn't nobody walking around this earth talking about they want to provide a male. So where the hell did that conversation come from? Who put that in the ecosystem that you latched onto it and have regurgitated it to the point that's made a divide of a people? Where did it come from? Because ain't nobody in the early 1900s, nobody in the 80s and 90s was walking around here talking about I want to provide a male. Nobody said that. Nobody talked like that. But now everybody talk like that and repeat it to the point that they say providing ain't just money. Nigga, what? Where did you get that from? And I'm not talking about that as to ridicule them by saying that. Where did you get that thought process from? Who engineered this to you? Who engineered this to you? Where did you get it from? You don't even realize them people telling you get a provider male, knowing that these people crafted a society where the mass majority of men in this society can't pay for everything by themselves. And them crackers know that. And the thing is that they crafted this argument and conversation amongst the people that per capita are the poorest people in this godforsaken place. And you got two groups of people arguing about this, that, there, and the third when we all poor in general. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about our people in general. Nigga, this black woman ain't, you got women getting on the internet lying all day talking about they making more money than men. Ho, you lying. And you know you lying. You know what I'm talking about? And you got niggas on the opposite side talking about how they balling this, that, there, and the third. Nigga, you lying. And you know you lying. And you so goddamn stupid that you don't even realize you want a nigga to pay for everything. Ho, we ain't got nothing. So the common sense would tell you, because this is what your ancestors did, but you're too goddamn stupid to look into it. They focused on let us all pool ourselves, our resources together so that we can all benefit. You run around screaming about Black Wall Street all day. What you think they were doing? You think they were talking about I ain't finna help him pay for nothing? Nah, you selfish, stupid, idiotic whore. No, that's what she was talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You think this nigga was talking about, man, I ain't doing nothing for this woman, man. Nah, you broke, lazy bastard. That's not what they were doing. But you let somebody come in here and change your brain and change your thought process. Now, guess what you ain't never gonna do? Until the Lord intercede. Be at one. Because you're going to be fussing and fighting and arguing with each other about another man's currency that ain't even worth nothing. In the literal sense. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I'm telling you this here for perspective. Pay attention to the game that's being ran. Why did you hear that and believe it? Why did you accept it? Where did it come from? You didn't come up that with yourself. Man, your people wasn't in the house telling you go get no provider male. Your daddy wasn't telling you it's your job to provide and protect for a woman. You were born to be a provider. Your people ain't teach you that. You know why they ain't teach you that? Because that wasn't a conversation in their generation. They knew that this is what you do. You get a family. You take responsibility for them. This is your duty. Your wife sat back and looked at, hey, man, whatever I got to do for the family, that's what I'm going to do. People move forward. Boom, boom, boom. That's what they did. I think I put that video in the chat, man, and I only watched this video because I felt it was interesting just to hear the perspective of it, of why it said why black people ain't had no debt. And you know why black people in the 60s ain't had no debt? Because they ain't trust no banks. Because they had a large distrust of these people on every avenue and corner. They didn't want to owe these people nothing. You wonder why there was stronger unity and more wealth with black people before you integrated. Because they had a severe distrust of these people. A severe distrust. You know what I'm talking about? So the wife didn't sit back and look at, I don't trust him. He ain't this, that, then the third. Because she trusted him more than she trusted Mr. Charlie. See, now it done reverse. See, when I say trust Mr. Charlie in this instance, I ain't talking about this goofy stuff these niggas on the internet talking about welfare and Section 8, because that's retarded. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the trust of a system. Of a system. See, it switched. See, before the black man and woman both distrusted the system in general. Now that's not the same. Now we both trust said system, and distrust each other. That's a recipe for disaster, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That's a recipe for disaster, man. You don't even realize the social engineering and game they played on you. You used to trust each other and distrust them. Now you distrust each other and trust them. Nigga, that's crazy as hell. How did that even happen? How did that even happen? That's facts, Rohan. They did cash everything. They didn't believe in no debt whatsoever. They didn't believe in purchasing nothing that couldn't be paid for right then. That were houses, cars, appliances, or nothing. But guess what that allowed them to be able to do? That means they actually had more wealth because everything was owned. They didn't owe nobody. You know what I'm saying? This is why they did certain things with integration to entice you to stop doing that so you could come over here and they could rule over you, which is why he says the borrower is a servant to the lender. You did? That's how the game, man. You got to pay attention to that, man. Like, real talk, man. These people have caused us from going from trusting each other and distrusting them to trusting them and distrusting each other. And they was able to do this in about 30 to 40 years, 50 at the most.
Yeah, and not just husband and wife,
the community at law. You talking about, which really, truth be told, the framework and basis of the community is between husband and wife. So if I can cause the husband and wife or the man and woman to distrust each other, they'll birth children who distrust each other also. You know what I'm talking about? And then in turn, in their distrust for each other, they'll have no choice but to trust me. And see what I'm saying? Trust me. I'm not talking about an individual white man. I'm talking about their system. You know what I'm saying? This is why they'll tell you, oh, we got degrees. What you got? We own houses. What you got? You know what it is? It's not the issue of owning a house. Baby, you talking about the system of a mortgage debt. That means you're playing into their financial system of where they rule and control over you, and you're judging his status, ability, and capabilities based off his ability to accrue the most debt possible that benefits someone other than you. You know what I'm saying? You're ridiculing this man and his ability to be quote unquote educated, incurring debt that benefits someone other than you. In the process of doing this, you know what this also does? It separates you from your God. You know how this separates you from your God? Because now you will no longer move according to the tenets and values that your God has espoused for his people to live by, because you won't deem them as appropriate. I just seen a reel where this lady say, I'll never go 50-50 with a man because we not equally yoked. And these women, and you know, majority of our women here unequally yoked, and they use it out of context. And there were men in the comments, one in particular, who was giving them the context of that passage in the text, because that's not being talking about finances. That's talking about believers not being yoked with unbelievers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about dating. They ain't talking about none of that goofy stuff. He was talking about period. What concord has Mashiach with Belial? What agreement does have light with darkness? What agreement does the temple of God have with idols? This ain't talking about you getting no husband hope. What's wrong with you? But when you take stuff and people take passages and make it be, what does that do? Set you at variance against each other. The game cold now. Because I'm telling you, man, Satan's game is built on division and separation. See, some people are like, well, Jesus said that he ain't came to bring people to peace, but a sword. He talking about setting people to be on God's side or the devil's side, nigga. Satan's objective is to set people against people, so that you can never become one with Yahuwah, because Yahuwah is not about setting people against people. He about people being one with him, so they be one with each other, and the power and love of God can be made known. That's why he say, if you my disciples, you'll love one another. You understand? Let me see what Blood said. Quiet as kept. They built Black Wall Street back up. I could believe it. He said, but our people are far way too gone naturally, but they all had great jobs too. Indeed, they did. Our people are far gone only because, listen, when you have an envy towards a people and what you perceive that they have, you know what I'm talking about? Then you'll break your neck to be able to get it. You understand? This is why when a lot of people get some money, the first thing they want to do is they want to buy a status symbol of wealth. Listen, I watched a whole video about this. You know, Cadillac were about to go out of business. The only reason why Cadillac's still here because black people bought it. White folks didn't buy Cadillacs like that. And black people were buying these Cadillac cash. That's why Cadillac's still here. GM wouldn't be making Cadillacs no more. Now you don't even see black folks focus on Cadillacs. And I'm not saying you should be because of white folks. Now you want a Benz or you want a Bentley or you want a Lambo because then that shows to these white folks I made it. Now, to a certain extent, I can see why people want to get out of impoverished environments just simply because of what go down around there. But I'm saying this is for you see the mentality when we move in certain neighborhoods, how we act, how we think, and then begin how you go to look at your own people who don't live in those environments. And I was reading something the other day where some people think that for black folks who've done that, they think the remedy for your blackness is to go to the HBCU. That's how simple we are. You know what I'm saying? Because again, your enemy has studied you, so he know how simple you are. You know what I'm talking about? You don't, and I ain't saying that to be disrespectful. I'm just telling you the truth. I remember years ago, well, Fat Boy was mad with me when I said that. When I told him, man, black people are the dumbest people on the planet. But see, he didn't know when the time that I said it, I wasn't divorcing myself from that group. Because remember, I told you this before, when I told him this, we were on East 23rd Street off Buckman in a crack house. So I can't be too smart to be thinking that I'm above these people and I'm sitting here with you in a trap house selling dope. I got to be stupid too. The reason why I say that because I know who put crack on the street, why they put it crack on the street, and I'm participating in that commerce. So I can't be too smart either. You know what I'm talking about? The difference is I can acknowledge I got to be stupid. Because I know I shouldn't be in here because I know what they did this for. And we allow situation and circumstance to dictate the decisions that we made. Now, of course, I'm man enough to know what I was involved with and the consequences that come along with it. That's why the dude I told you about, when I was telling him about his baby mama, when I was conversing with him when we was up the road, he said, bro, you ain't supposed to be in here. I said, nigga, I already know that, but it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? I was forced with a decision and I made it. And I was man enough to live with what came with it. But I'm mentioning these things because whether it was crack, whatever case it was to keep us separated from each other and to distrust each other. So when you see, and I said all that to lead us back to this 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. That's what the beast coming to do. Is to set you where you trust him and distrust each other. That's why he gonna make intelligence with those who forsake the Kadash covenant. That's why they gonna come with flattery. You know what I'm talking about? That's why all that stuff come in. You got to understand the play in order to beat the blitz. If you come up to the line of scrimmage and you can't tell who the mic is and you can't see the tail of the linebackers and the safeties that these niggas finna blitz, he finna put you on your ear hole. Go ahead, bro. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Man, you can make it verse 1.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by ruach, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand.
Come on.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Boom. That's your Daniel 11. Those who forsake the Kadash covenant, he gonna make intelligence with. That's gonna be an apostasy. They're gonna turn their back on the word. Come on.
And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called Elohim.
You see that there? You trying to exalt yourself above my people.
Or that is worshipped, so that he, as Elohim, sit in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? I told you this now. And now you know what withhold that he might be revealed in his time.
In his time.
For the mystery of iniquity do already work.
It's already worked. Now, I think it's not in no playlist. We did that some years ago about the mystery of iniquity. If the Lord permit, we'll run it back. Go ahead.
Say only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way.
I want you to tell them what iniquity mean by definition. So Because basically, even we kind of talking about the mystery. When we talk about the mystery of iniquity, that's running it down from Genesis to Malachi, how what the beast come to do, that secret been there the whole time. Go ahead.
That is, and omiyah, that is the condition of without law, because ignorant of it, because of violating it, contempt and violation of law, iniquity is wickedness.
Listen, this is the contempt of it. So the secret of the contempt of Yahuwah's word been working. Hold on, read that part again. Read that verse again.
So for the mystery of iniquity do already work.
Do already work.
Only he who now will let until he be taken out of
Now,
the way.
give them the definition of he who will now let will let. He said the secret of contempt against the word already been working. You could see that with the serpent in the garden. You could see that with Cain. You could see it with Esau. You could see it with Saul. You can see it with the kings. The mystery been working. This ain't something that just pop up out of nowhere, because understand it's the contempt for the word, the hatred and disgust for the Almighty Elohim. Go ahead.
Now that is kateko, that is to hold back, detain, refrain. This is from going away, to restrain, to hinder the course of progress of, to get possession of, to take, to possess.
So he said he holding back, but now he gonna do it. And what to take it back to in your law? He said, when you break the yoke off your brother, then you're going to rule. Come on now. It's all the same word. It's all there. And this is why, because, I'm going to be honest with you. And I say praise be to Elohim in the name of Yahushua for it. It's a lot of people who done ridiculed us over the course of years of focusing on the testimony. They felt like it was unnecessary. Why you got to do that? Why you got to say this? Whole nigga, then dip then. Because you want me to be who you think I should be. I almost said something I shouldn't have said. Because any nigga who feel like, well, you should talk about this. Well, you go talk about it, ho nigga. God damn it. And I mean that from my soul, man. Man, woman, or child. If you so focused about, oh, you should talk about this, why you ain't talking about it then? You know why? Because don't nobody hang with you, slang with you, bang with you, do any type of gangster things with you. Nobody fool with you, nigga. Hell, I look like. You got all these people swearing, but now they got a word, they got this, they got that, this, that. Well, why you ain't putting no work on the street? Why you from the sidelines telling niggas who cooking up and hustling what they ought to do? Go get you a pack and move it then. How you got a pack from God, you ain't moving it then? But you want to talk about how I'm cooking up some work. Go cook your own up then and go move it. You know one thing I ain't never did, man? I don't sit around and talk about what people, why he should be talking about this. I don't care what you talking about. If that's what he put in your mouth, put the word on the street. See, I feel like how Paul feel, man. He say, man, some preach Mashiach out of goodwill, some preach him out of contention. He say, either way I rejoice because Mashiach is preached. It don't make me no never mind what you talking about or how you talking about it. Is Yahushua being preached? Praise God. That's what people's problem is you worry about what other people do instead of what you doing. Remember what he told Peter? What if I told him to occupy till I come? What is it to you? Go feed my sheep. Stop worrying about what he doing. That ain't none of your concern. What you supposed to be doing? I don't concern myself with what other people doing. I'm focused on what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I ain't going to get a reward or a condemnation for what he doing. And I say that for all of us to understand that, man, you ain't going to get no greater reward and you ain't going to get no greater damnation worrying about what somebody else doing. You're going to get a reward for what you do. You're going to get damnation for what you doing. So therefore, I can't be concerned about what you doing and what you not doing. That's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can give you an exhortation. I can give you some counsel. But I look at, man, I'm not focused on what another man preaching. That's not my business. See, some people think that's out of pride. That ain't out of pride. That's not my job. It's not my job to be the police of other preachers of the word. If they ain't of God, it'll show in his time. And if it's of God, you're going to be fighting against God. So that's stupid. And if it's of God, it's going to show in his time. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. Because when you focus your energy on that, you taking away your energy from what's supposed to be done. And that's the administration of salvation. You worrying about the wrong thing. And you know what that tell me? God ain't sent you. But I ain't got to say that out loud. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's apparent in what you're doing. And he that have ears to hear and eyes to see, gonna peep to play. See, that's what a lot of people say, man. See, so a lot of y'all ain't listen to Soldier Rags because you ain't from down here. I get it. But on the song "Who's the MFer," because I can't say, well, that's how I say it on there. That's how I spell it. Who's the MF? He in the song, he say, game can be overcome if you silence your tongue. A lot of niggas can't overcome game because you talk too much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you don't know how to sit back. Remember, we talked about that. What that Romans 16 ain't it? What he said, Mark? Did Mark say talk? Mark say take note of and move accordingly. Because game can be overcome if you silence your tongue. See, a lot of people, you give your adversary the play on how to get you because you talk too much. Because you don't know how to sit back and look. I see how that nigga move. That nigga wicked as hell. Okay, I'm going to move like this because that nigga wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? But you know you want to do, you wicked, you false prophet, you goofy. Now he going to switch his game up. This was a real life situation that happened, man. I told the individual jungle, I ain't going to go into great detail, right? But I told the nigga, bro, I said, you see this play right here? Process of elimination tells you this, and this. You know what this stupid nigga went and did? Ask the nigga. I said, man, why the hell you do that? Well, I wanted to know. That's what's wrong with you, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because I gave you this information so you could peep the game. I say, now, once you ask them that, you know what you've done? You've alerted them that we know the game. So you know what they can do now? They can adjust how they going to move. You have removed our ability to checkmate them because you don't know how to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to be quiet and checkmate, nigga. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know how to do that. That contempt is double strong in the king because they have access to all knowledge and clarity on that. That's a fact. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes you got to read Romans 16 and 17, man, and just give a mark by definition. Because a lot of them be wanting, listen, man, some people be selling out. Sometimes I be wanting to cuss them out, but then what that going to do? Because that's what they want you to do so somebody can say, see? And I ain't say, when I say cuss them out, I ain't talking about using profanity. I'm talking about using several delightful and flavorful words to disrespect them at a level that will touch them at the base of their soul. And I ain't got to use profanity in their time. Yeah, praise God for that ability. I had it for a long time too. You ever made somebody seen a man brain shake? Listen, that's when you make somebody so upset with what you saying that you can literally see their brain moving with frustration and anger because they know that they can't refute anything that you're saying to them. I used to do that to the police all the time. Yeah, because most people don't expect, especially talking about young and especially, according to how I'm dressed, for you to have the intellectual capacity and the articulation and oratory skills to communicate at a level that I disrespected you verbally without cursing you. That's why I like Yoshi so much. He's a master at it. I respect him. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them.
Tell him what mark means. He said, and avoid them.
Mark is scopeo, to look at, observe, contemplate, to mark, to fix one's eyes upon, to direct one's attention to.
Praise you,
to look to take heed to yourself.
Take heed to your who?
To yourself.
So he say, take heed to yourself and don't fool with him. Read that definition again, man. Y'all gotta learn how to pick the man giving you the game.
That's to look at.
Observe, to observe,
contemplate,
to think on,
to mark,
to
fix one's eyes upon,
to look at,
to direct one's attention to
give attention to
look to take heed to yourself.
To take heed to yourself. After you did all those things that he described, to take heed to yourself and leave him alone. And notice what he said that make divisions. So those who like contention and want to separate, because we talked about this last week, how beautiful it is for brethren to dwell in unity. People who want to cause discord among brethren is an abomination before God. So guess what you do? I take heed to that. I don't fool with you. You see how simple that is? Mm-hmm. You ain't got to run around. Listen, some of y'all know that there, man. When we had them issue years back, man, I knew what them niggas were doing. And guess what I ain't never do? I ain't never say a word. I ain't never say nothing bad about them to nobody. I had already marked them and peeped the play and let it play out, and they played themselves. Boop, remember? Did I say a word? I ain't say a word to nobody. And that gun continued on for an extended period of time. And what ended up happening? Them niggas played themselves. Didn't have to say nothing. That's all you got to do, man. Look here, man. What Pimp C say, you ain't got to expose these niggas. They expose themselves every day. You ain't got to do that. That's why you like who? Oh, no, you don't know him. You don't know him. Yoshi. You don't know Yoshi, man. Yoshi don't be on this platform, but that's my man. Yoshi will verbally eviscerate a man like nothing you have ever seen. You know what I'm talking about? And not curse or sometimes not even raise his voice. When I heard this man told another man that he will manipulate his body against his will, I said, my God, today. I forgot what he called this other dude. He thought he cursed at him. That joke was funny as all out those. I forgot what he called it, man. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are not accustomed to people who can communicate well and actually know, Barry know what I'm talking about, and actually know a multitude of words in their vocabulary. And I ain't joking. Barry know what I'm talking about. He literally told another man, I will manipulate your body against your will. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, well, if I was about to fight somebody and they told me that something like that, I said, bro, you got it, bro. I don't even want to know what that looked like. You're going to manipulate my body against my will. I don't want no problems with you, sir. Yeah, I don't want no problem with you. I apologize that I even offended you, sir. You know what I'm talking about? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, man.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Saying, then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the rock of his mouth,
That's right.
and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Listen.
Even him whose comings after the working of Hashatan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
All the deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. They're deceived by the sin that's in them. Read it again.
Saying, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
That they
but
might
for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
Should believe a who?
A lie.
Isaiah 66 and 3. Proverbs 1 and 19. So I say, man, it's a lot of, now that I think about it, because, I ain't, by the grace of Yahushua, we don't have nothing necessarily prepared. We just got knowing what verse we're going to hit. But truth be told, when it comes to two witnesses, it's a lot of foundational information that has to be waded through before you even get to the thesis, to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy to read it. There's just two witnesses. They go, no, you got to understand why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Remember what he told you in Proverbs 4 and 7. Get wisdom, but in all you're getting, get understanding. You need to understand why this is happening. Why are they doing this? What's the rhyme, reason, and purpose? You know why a lot of times when we do stuff, you don't get the desired result that you want because you don't even know why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know why you're doing it. And when I say that, indeed, Marvin, study the after. I said I'm doing that. That go back. We were talking about the other day with your KPIs, your key performance indicators. Say what I mean in this here, right? You could be in a business and you could see, oh, these people doing this in their business, but you don't understand why they're doing that because if they're good at it, they already know this performs well for us. So this is why we're doing it. And you're doing it, but it don't perform well for you because you don't understand. Just because that performed well for them don't mean it's going to perform well for you because you ain't even took the time to understand what to do to get the performance that you desire. Like I told you the other day, right? I already know what performed well for me. That's pulling up on people with face-to-face direct interactions. I've got the best result with that. And you know what the only thing it costs me? Time. Don't cost me no money outside of gas. You know what I'm saying? I know people who done spent whole gang of money on Facebook ads. They don't get no money out of that because it don't work for everybody for the most part. You just throwing good money after bad. You ain't gonna get it. But for some other people, it may work. One of the biggest mistakes you could look at is, well, it worked for them, it'll work for me. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. You know what I'm talking about? So when you turn around and you look at that with the word, a lot of people don't, not that's not a one-to-one parallel with this young man, but a lot of people don't pay attention to the fact that you don't understand what you're doing, so you're not going to get key performance. Because you're not even knowing why and what you are performing and what you ought to get out of said performance. You don't even know why. You don't even know why that if this scenario occurs, why you need to move like this and this in order to not get this result of taking a mark in your right hand and your forehead and bowing down to an image that can talk. Come on, sir.
So he that kill an ox is as if he slew
This
a
is
man.
Isaiah 66:3.
He that sacrificed a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offered an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burned incense as if he burnt an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delight in their abominations.
And their abominations.
Also will choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer.
And when I
spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes.
He said, I'm going to choose out the lies that they want to hear because they ain't had no love for the truth. That's what he just said. Proverbs 1:1. I just want you to hear from him. I don't want you to think Paul made that up. Paul got that from somewhere, but he just didn't say Isaiah 66. He just didn't say Proverbs 1. Go ahead.
Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse and the openings of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I'll pour my ruach unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and you refused.
Because I called you what?
You refused.
What happened?
I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
No man regarded.
But you have said at nothing all my counsel.
You didn't want to hear nothing to do with my advice.
And with none of my reproof.
You didn't want none of my correction.
I also will laugh at your calamity.
My God.
Mock when your fear comes.
My God.
When your fear comes as desolation, your destruction comes as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
And why is this?
For that they hated knowledge.
Because you hated knowledge.
Did not choose the fear of Yahuwah.
And you didn't choose to respect me.
They were none of my counsel. They despised all.
You see how the mystery of iniquity already do work. Because that's contempt. You understand? And the beast got contempt. Daniel 11:31, so they 30, excuse me, so you could hear his contempt. I'm not going to go through all through Daniel right now. I want you to hear his contempt.
For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return, and have indignation against the Kadash covenant. So shall he do.
He have indignation against what?
The Kadash covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the Kadash covenant.
Give him an indignation by definition, man.
That is to denounce, express indignation, to be indignant.
It said to do what? To denounce.
Right, to show anger, to show indignation.
To show anger. Let me just give you the English definition of denounce. What does it mean to denounce something?
You got to be angrily indignant, to be defiant, to be abhorrent, to express indignation in speech, to denounce, to curse.
To curse. Publicly declare to be wrong or evil. To publicly state that something or someone is bad. So when you see him say this, say he gonna blaspheme the tabernacle in heaven, he gonna blaspheme the God of heaven. Man, this man literally gonna stand out here and say God's word and God is bad. I just want you to understand that for a moment. Just pause and think on that for a moment. This is what this nigga gonna do. You understand? And if you don't know the word well enough, boy, you're gonna go along with that, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go along with that.
It's gonna be too long.
Listen. Remember, he gonna have understanding of dark sentences, so he gonna be using the word to tell you God bad and he good. Nigga. My God, today. Lord have mercy. So, I just want you to understand that with these two witnesses. I'm going to swing back over here to Revelation 6, right? Because I was talking about these seals. Now, when he opened these seals are not necessarily the revelation of information, if you would. But this is opening up of taxing on these people. What I want you to understand is this is one of the legs of dealing with if one of the two witnesses of Moses are coming in the spirit and power of Moses, because you know that Moses released plagues on Egypt before Egypt fell. I asked you to read Revelation 16 and 13 earlier, and we never read it. Run that for me, because I want you to hear this part. And the reason why I want him to read this here to refresh your memory, because that's my bad, because I said it, and I think I went on a tangent, and it slipped out my brain. But praise be to Yahuwah, because it came back to mind. So I want you to sit back and remember this, what he said right here in Exodus 9. He said, "In very deed for this cause have I raised you up to show in you my power, that my name may declare throughout the whole earth. And yet, as yet, exalt yourself against my people, and you will not let them go. Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even till now." And also verse 14 was the verse actually more specifically, for I will at this time send all my plagues upon your heart and upon your servants and upon your people, that you may know that there is none like me in the earth. Revelation 16 and 13.
And I saw three unclean ruachs like frogs come out of the mouth of the serpent, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
That's right.
But they are the ruachs of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Almighty Elohim. So behold, I come as a thief. Baruch is he that watch and keep his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Come on with it.
And he gathered them together to a place in the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon.
Remember, Armageddon is not a war. It is a place that a war is fought, but it's a location. So, but it's the war of Armageddon. Shut your goofy mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. Read that again so they know.
And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
Go ahead.
And the seventh Malachim poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of Shamaim.
What happened?
Throne, saying, "It is done."
Go ahead.
There were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. And a great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. Great Babylon came into remembrance before Elohim to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath.
Go ahead.
And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of Shamaim. Every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Elohim because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great.
Go back to verse 1. We read all of it. Because I ain't read well. I didn't want you to hear. He said he's going to tighten these people up. So that's what it said in Exodus, right? So he's going to do the same thing.
And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven Malachim, "Go your ways, pour out the vials of the wrath of Elohim upon the rats." And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his
image. We know that happened in Egypt.
The second Malachim poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as blood of dead men, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third Malachim poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the Malachim of the waters say,
"They worthy.
You are righteous, O Lord, which are and was and shall be, because you have judged thus. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink. They are worthy.
They worthy of it."
And I heard another out of the altar say, "Even so, Lord Elohim Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments." And the fourth Malachim poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat.
Fire burn them.
And blasphemed the name of Elohim, which had power over these plagues.
Go ahead.
Repented not to give him esteem.
Go ahead.
And the fifth Malachim poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. And
the same thing happened in Egypt, and they what?
And they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the Elohim and Shamaim because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
Didn't repent.
And the sixth Malachim poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up.
Now listen, Paul. Now, when they put all them plagues on the Egyptians, what's the one thing the Egyptians didn't do? They never repented.
They still ain't let them go.
He say, remember, verse 14, Exodus 9, for at this time I send all my plagues upon your heart and upon your servants and upon your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. Didn't it say it fell on the beast and all his kingdom? My God, today. My God, today. Now, I want you to see this here because this is in the thing of what you see that these men are testifying. Now, we're just focusing on that. Now, obviously, the two witnesses chronologically in this text have already ascended back into heaven, as it pertains to Revelation 16. What we're establishing is the fact of the very things that he said he would go. Also, besides the fact that also Revelation 11 said that they got power to afflict these people with plagues for the entire time of their testimony. You understand? Now, it doesn't specify specifically every single solitary plague that they're going to drop, but it tell you right here, man, verse 6, these have power to shut Shamahim that reign not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. This is for the beast and his kingdom, and his servants. You know what I'm talking about? All the same word. So what you get is you seeing that same framework, because that's what Moses did. He bare witness against Pharaoh, and then by the power of Elohim, smited them with plagues. Elijah came through, prayed that it didn't rain, and stepped to them and told them to repent and turn back to Yahuwah and stop worshiping idols. He said repent, but he did make sure that they won't repent. Indeed, because they're not going to repent. And you know why they ain't going to repent? Because they don't want to. Because they don't want to. It ain't in them to do it. And you know why it ain't in them to do it? Because they a wicked bastard. Bastard wicked. That's why. You know what I'm talking about? But I just want you to see how, and of course we still got, because we've talked about Matthew 17 and Luke 9 previously. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to see how Zechariah 4, which is a prophecy of these two witnesses, obviously which takes Revelation 11, and see how Zechariah 4 and Revelation 11 is just not a one-to-one how people look at it. Nah, it's the concept of what these, because Zechariah 4 don't really talk about what they coming to do. But it do. But it don't. But it do. You know what I'm talking about? If you understand what I'm saying. Then Zechariah 11 give more insight. But now when you see that Moses and Elijah are with him in the transfiguration, speaking of his decease, these two witnesses have the power that Moses and Elijah did. And then when you look at what Moses' testimony is and Elijah's testimony is, you get the framework of understanding what those two witnesses were coming to do and why. You know what I'm talking about? Why? Because there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? So they're performing the same work. Because what did Moses do? He bare witness to the ruler of the world at this time to stop accosting and persecuting the children of God. And because this man didn't want to stop doing that, he afflicted them with plagues and said, I'm going to raise you up that my power may be known. And then I'm going to afflict you and your servants and your kingdom, so you know that it is none like me. And then with Elijah, it was to turn the children back to the fathers because they had went astray worshiping Baal. So now you've been worshiping these idol gods, these gods who have no ears to hear, no eyes to see, no mouth to speak, no breath to animate life in them. How long will you halt between two opinions, return to the living Elohim and live? When you take these two things and you understand that concept, because, a lot of people look at the quote unquote end time book of Revelation. Like I said, I told you this before, man. And praise be to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua for it. I can remember, I ain't never understood what none of this stuff was talking about. And I wasn't dealing with the words, just reading. And then, of course, I told you, think about, what I'm reading for. I don't know what I don't understand what I'm looking at. What's the point? Now, by the grace of Elohim, we can cause the understanding of this word to be dispensed and conveyed in the most simplest of terms. Now, I'm not mentioning this for no other reason that I know for surety because of that is nothing short of the power of the living Elohim, because this shouldn't be possible. I'm speaking for myself of living it and seeing it done, because I'm telling you, I can remember being on the 4th floor of the Duval County Jail, reading either the Book of Job or something in Exodus. I can't remember, but my memory want to say the Book of Job. And I'm like, man, I don't know what it's talking about. And again, I was not a reader of the book of, oh, I'm in jail, let me turn to God, because the Bible, as far as I'm concerned, was a part of humanity's also. So this was a text like it's still a part of the totality of what I like to participate in. And to be able to fast forward 21 years and have the ability to understand, that's the power of God, because nigga can't tell me nothing. I don't give a damn if a nigga like it, agree with it, don't agree with it, got something negative to say about me. Nigga, screw you in the vagina you came through. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not going, damn, that's Yahuwah all day long. It ain't none of me. I can tell you that. Especially considering almost 17 years to the day coming up, man, I wasn't trying to fool with them. This wasn't on my brain. So let Yahuwah be esteemed for that. Because see, that's not only something that benefit me, that benefit anybody that nigga come across. Because they can take that and do whatever Yahuwah will for them to do with that information. Some people going to use it and deliver their soul. Some people that information going to be the reason they go to hell. Because they're going to hear the power of God and refuse it. And that just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? So nevertheless, let me come back over here to Revelation 6. I don't even know if we want to go through that. So this whole Revelation 6, I'm going to bounce back over here to Zechariah 4. I think that was I think Zechariah, is that Zechariah 5 had that with the horses that's in Revelation 6? Yeah, that's Revelation 5, got that with them horses, man. So yeah. That's Revelation 5 with them horses, man. Say, what did it take for you to seek the book of God the first time? Shoot. Oh, I told you this here, man. My homeboy scooped me up, you know what I'm saying? My age. Nigga, I done slept on the floor with in the trap, you know what I'm saying, next to the heater. Then we grew up together. He found out we were Israelites when I was in prison. He know I ain't really fooled with the book like that. Not because I had a problem with the book. I ain't believe in the tenets and doctrines of Christianity at all. It didn't make sense. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that's not even not knowing no Bible, just hearing it like this don't make sense. So I'm good on this. And doggone, shoot. He didn't know I had came home. Y'all have mercy on her soul. He seen my mom at the Hess gas station on Beach in our neighborhood because my mama worked on Beach. You know what I'm talking about? She was like, boy, I seen Carrie. He said, call him. I called him. He came to the house. He said the same thing to me that I said to him 5 years prior when the daughter was born. He said, boy, I got something to show you. Boy, you ain't going home till you see it. You know what I'm saying? He showed me some junk, man. And I remember hearing Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it wasn't the response that everybody else had. I'm like, damn, I know that happened. I say, boy, the whole book, true, boy, I'm going to hell. Boy, you got to change your life. And we were gone from that minute forward. Because like I said, I knew that this occurred. See, for me, it wasn't, oh, we was the Israelites. It was an event that I know happened. And I'm seeing that this word is bearing witness to something that I know occurred. And it's speaking of something that occurred before it happened. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, yeah, man, shoot. Yeah, this whole thing true then. You know what I'm saying? Then over the course of time, and Lil Muffin can bear witness to it because she seen me do that, just going through the text. And then that's when he caused me to stop, pause, and see that the whole book was bearing witness to the Son. Like straight up down. Because I've been on that the whole time. It wasn't, and when I say course of time, I ain't talking about no months or years either. I'm talking about very, very quickly. Because I read a lot and I pay attention to what I'm looking at. You know what I'm talking about? So it wasn't no piecing it together like that. But once I came to that, he allowed me to see that one there. I remember the first time I seen him in the text. Now that I remember clear as day. It was Proverbs 8. Now that's something that y'all permit. I'll never forget as long as I live. That was Proverbs 8. Because I remember seeing it, and I'm like, boy, I'm gonna tell Fat Boy this when I see him. when he come around here. And when he pulled up, that's the first thing I showed him. Like, boy, they're talking about the Lord, boy. And was like this here, like woo, 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 woo. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been on that the whole time. Cause yeah, we used to sit at his house, you know what I'm saying? At that time, we didn't really know. Cause I'm fresh out of prison, so the nigga still blowing down. So, we would watch, he'd like to watch, the street teaching videos, the UPK and IUIC and GMS and all that, because it was entertaining to him. You know what I'm saying? And GOCC, but I was more concerned that let me see this work that they cooking up. Let me see if it line up. And I see that joint was trash. You know what I'm talking about? And I seen that effectively you could learn everything they had to teach in 90 days. Because I told him that one day. I'm like, damn, that's the end of it? That's all they got? And effectively now, almost 20 years later, it's still the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really you don't really get the depths of nothing. But the reality is, don't nobody really want the depths of nothing. So I guess it don't benefit them to do that, if you would. You know what I'm saying? But let me like this here, man. Lord willing, right? In Zechariah 4, prayerfully we could get to verses 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then in Zechariah 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well, 7, 8, and 9. If there's more stuff in depthly to disseminate from Moses and Elijah testimony as it relate to the two witnesses, we shall do that. You know what I mean? We probably can take some of this stuff that's in the book of Obadiah, because Obadiah is on the list with this. But nevertheless, I don't know if I'd have to look at the other chapters to see if they correlate with what we got going on. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, because it's 11 o'clock. I appreciate y'all time this evening. Bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Prayerfully, y'all understood all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Now, word-wise, we went over a lot of things. Yahuwah Baruch Mika, but the one point on the natural side of things that I want you to really, really ponder upon is whatever thought processes and perspectives, amen, man, love you too, bro, that you have, really sit down and ask yourself, where did they come from? You see what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, man, if you really look into a piece, man, I praise you, Omar. Like, listen, man, praise you, Eric, man. Yes, sir, hold it down, my G. Like, amen, Joseph, man. Praise you indeed. Listen, right. I really want you to sit back and look at how we as a people went from a people who were insular and trusted each other and had a distrust for a system. Because again, I don't want you to look at it as forth as Caucasian or white. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a system. A system of exploitation, a system of oppression, a system of division, a system of carnality, a system of blasphemy. Shalom, Misha, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, my nigga. And look at how that system has taught you to distrust each other and trust them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some real nigga activity, man. I really implore each and every one of you to really stop, pause, and take a deep dive and look into that. Because we talking about from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, people who trusted in each other inherently and distrusted a system that was oppressing them. If we just say from 1960, matter of fact, we'll stop it right here, right? If we say from 1968, simply because Martin Luther King Day just passed, if we say from 1968 to now, which is 60 years, how did we go in 60 years from having extreme trust in one another and distrust for a system to having distrust for each other and trust for a system? Don't be no weirdo and blame Martin Luther King and blame these people, because they just cogs in the machine. You know what I'm talking about? It's deeper than that. It's deeper than blaming a Mason. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than blaming the Boule, blaming the Illuminati. Nah, man. Look into remember we talked about that spiritual wickedness in high places. See what I'm talking about? Don't blame an individual as a cop out. Look at that system as a whole. What maneuverings and machinations did they conspire upon, that they put together to push to cause a man and a woman to distrust each other and trust them? You understand? Because like I said, man, that hit my brain as I was listening to that gentleman or whether it was a real person or AI, I think it was a real person, in that video about how black people didn't pay cash for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he was really discussing the role that the wife played, the role that the husband played, and the role in the community. And all I heard in that was a complete trust of individuals. Where did that go, and why did it leave, and how was it able to be dispersed? You know what I'm saying? I put a video in the chat, man. Just look at it. You know, you can take the information from it for what you will, but I really want you to look at the framework of what he was discussing, how the husband and wife dealt with each other. Because we got grown people arguing about, I'll never go 50-50. And this is the thing. If you don't want to go half on no bill, I don't give a damn. It's your life. You can want what you want. You can not. Well, I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Because I ain't got to be with you, so why I care? You know what I'm talking about? So I just want to get that out of the way because I don't care. Okay, if you don't want to pay bills, then hey man, find a nigga who gonna pay them for you then. You know what I'm talking about? That don't make me no never mind. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? But what I'm talking about is the thought process and the aspect of when you hear those desires communicated, the underlying contempt and vitriol and mistrust for each other all the way around the board. Because in reality, some dudes say 50-50 because they really just don't want to pay all the bills themselves. That's their business. But what I'm also or even when you hear people get upset with, why are you asking me what I bring to the table? Because people didn't even realize this is supposed to be a joining of two people who are moving for the purpose of building something to benefit generations that come after them. And the only way they could be able to do that is because they trust one another more than they trust the system of the place that they live in. So when I hear a lot of these conversations and talking points espoused, all I hear is, I trust Mr. Charlie's system. And when I say trust Mr. Charlie's system, I'm talking about you don't trust the constitutional republic that it's supposed to be. You trust democracy, which is a farce. You trust capitalism. That's unfortunate. You know what I'm talking about? You trust a system that's designed to keep 99% of the population poor and serving the 1%. Because see, capitalism in and of itself is not good or evil. It's the individuals who operate in it. Because capitalism is nothing but a system. A system can only be righteous and just as the individuals who operate in it. You know what I'm talking about? Simple as that. Just like socialism is a system, it can only be as righteous as those who operate in it. Whether it's democracy, whether it's what's what I'm looking for? Dang, that joint escaping me on the religious side, or what you call that joint? A religious hell kingdom. You know the terminology. It's escaping me, man. I think I need to stop. My brain fog kicking in. I wouldn't want to say a dictatorship, but even with that, it's only going to be as righteous or wicked as the individual running it. Because again, a system has no power until men are involved with it. Straight them down. He's saying equally crazy players to take all that and blame it solely on Trump or that other party going to save you from their system. And that's what I was talking about when I was talking with people about that other day. Like, I don't care about this system. You know what I'm saying? They were like, we American. Hey, that's fine. I'm not. Yeah, fight. No, it wasn't fighting with feudalism. It's the term when a religious leader is the head of a government. The term is escaping me right now. I have to Google it because it's gonna bother me if nobody don't say A theocracy. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. A theocracy. Whether it's that, a theocracy is, yeah, that's it, Joseph. Yeah. A theocracy is only good as the individual running it. And you can see that all through the text because Israel was a theocracy, and that theocracy was only good as the king at the top of it. When Ahab was the head of it, it was bad. When Josiah was the head of it, it was good. When Hezekiah was the head, it was good. When Ahaz was the head of it, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Because the word of Yahuwah is righteous and just, but it's only as righteous and just in its implementation as the individual who's delegating it. Simple as that. When you understand that, then we won't get focused on that person. Because see, the system here is crooked because the people who run it are crooked. Because capitalism, okay, so if I say is a free market, indeed, Iran is a theocracy. I don't even know if it is theocratic no more. I don't know if the Ayatollah Khomeini ain't running no more because they got presidents now. You know what I'm saying? We have to look into that. I don't even know if he still run that whole. When you look at capitalism, they say, okay, it's the free market. The market decides what rates it. You know, and in Israel had capitalistic elements in it because you could get your cattle or your harvest, and you can sell it for whatever you want to sell it for. Now, whether a person bought it or not, it's another conversation. You know what I'm saying? But the difference with this particular system of capitalism, how it's operated on, it's predicated on a multitude of systems and regulations that benefit a few. And that few is going to use that to purposely exploit the masses to keep them in a middle or lower economic class. Well, they hoard all the wealth. And I ain't even gonna say wealth because they hoarding all the fiat currency. Because truth be told, the governments of countries are hoarding all the wealth because the wealth is precious metals. The wealth is the land and the livestock on it. You know what I'm saying? The wealth is the natural resources, aka natural gas, crude oil, things of that nature. That's the actual wealth. And the quote unquote billionaires, they don't have that. You know what I'm talking about? It's the governments and a small amount of governments who actually control that wealth. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about real wealth. I had to correct myself on that because we were just talking about real wealth not too long ago. We were talking about Abraham. You know, Elon Musk don't have no wealth. Larry Ellison don't have no wealth. Jay-Z don't have no wealth. You know what I'm talking about? What his name is, the funny looking white man on Amazon, he don't have no wealth. Jeff Bezos, he don't have no wealth. They got a lot of fiat currency, but they don't have no wealth. Because Jeff Bezos don't have no oil, no gold, no silver, no platinum, no precious stones. He don't have none of that. You know what I'm talking about? I just want you to keep that in perspective. He don't have none of that. He got numbers on a screen. That's not wealth. Now, when we look at it, if you're talking about riches, he got a lot of that. You know what I'm talking about? And with those riches, you have the ability to control commerce and dictate things and put people out of business because he put Toys R Us out of business. You know how he put Toys R Us out of business? Because Toys R Us was using him as their distributor for their toys, and he learned their game and then cut them off and then put them out of business. See, that's a crooked bastard. Because see, capitalism with these Caucasians is, I'm going to cut you before you cut me. I'm going to screw you out your money and so I can keep it for myself. I'm going to cut your share out so I can keep it for myself. Yeah, look it up about Amazon and Toys R Us. That's what he did. That's all Jeff Bezos did. Truth be told, Circuit City did that to themselves. And that's how they were able to take over. You know what I'm talking about? It's the same thing. Blockbuster would still be here, but they didn't see the value in buying Netflix and they put them out of business. That's, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation because that's somebody not seeing market shifting and adjusting to what the market was doing. But what I'm talking about is, yes, wealth versus riches is like strength versus power. Because see, riches will give you strength, but wealth give you power. That's why America has power because that's why they integrate themselves in other people's countries to have control over their resources. Because when you have control over the resources, then you have the power. See, Iran is strong, but Iran they got oil there, but they only got control of their oil. You know what I'm saying? See, people think they went to Venezuela to get the oil for themselves, and they went there to control the oil so their adversaries couldn't get it. Therefore, I have the power. You know what I'm saying? I'm not strong. I got power because I can dictate to you. This is why we have to understand power dynamics. What was one of the definitions? The allocation of resources. My God, today. He said, U.S. Space I heard was talking about saying how you can train power, but strength is different. Yeah, you can't. You have some people who are just naturally strong. That's right. Amazon paid a fine and Toys R Us, they was willing to take that little hit on the fine to put you out of business and take your business. Facts with trade. But you got to look into, when you look into all these things, man, because a lot of wars were fought, they was fought over resources. Because I want to control the resources. When I control the resources, I have the power. My God, today. You got to look at all that, man. You know what I'm saying? You look at the world differently and you just realize, it just is what it is. That's why I was telling them, bro, you can't vote your way into power. It's not how that works, my nigga. You can't financially climb your way to power using another man's currency, playing a game that he created. That ain't how that works, blood. You're not gonna find that nowhere in human history where anybody has done that. And they were thinking out this here, he was like this, they thinking, this nigga talking crazy. I'm like, bro, that's not how power dynamics work, blood. And I'm not telling you that to discourage you from wanting to build yourself up economically. I'm not telling you this for you to not be involved politically, if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to understand that's not how power is gotten. And the reality is our people don't want power. You understand? You don't really want that. You want acceptance and equity and equality in a system of wickedness. You understand? Because see, to get the power that I'm talking about, you got to get the power of God first. See, when you have the power of God and become the sons of God, then you become an inheritor. When you come an inheritor, then you would inherit all the resources that are going to bring you to a land full of what? Milk and honey. Remember what I was telling you about how I was telling the dude about the Proverbs 31 husband? And we were reading about, but he had resources, real wealth, and they didn't have to do anything to get that wealth. It came strictly from God. That wealth, in turn, with being with God and obedient with God, gave them power to where behavior is influenced, resources is allocated. You can dictate. Our people don't want that. See, I told my mans them this when we was having that conversation. Nigga, I want free. You ever listen to the beginning of Soul Food, man? If you're not familiar with Goody Mob's Soul Food album, man, the opening track is CeeLo singing on it. The song called Free. Boy, that's what a nigga want, blood. So when I seen Yahushua say, man, if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. And I know he talking about being free from the shackles of sin, which means I'm free from the world, which means I'm free from death, to have freedom in heaven. That means I can have power with God in heaven and in earth. I don't want nothing these people got. See, some people that's that religious stuff. Call it what you want, my nigga. Come on, my boobster. Mommy in the room, but you come here. Come on. Come on. It's okay. It's okay, my baby. Come on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want that. Amen, man. So when you don't want that, then you seek acceptance from a people who don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I ain't on that. But yeah, man, hallelujah for Yahushua, man. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just hold it down, just weigh and consider. But just look into it, man. I ain't saying this junk to be disrespectful, to discourage, to mock, to belittle, or diminish nobody. I really want us to understand the thought processes and perspectives that we hold. Where did we get them from? Do we really hold these things because these are genuinely our values and perspectives, or were we socially engineered and manipulated to think in a particular way, which causes us to distrust each other and trust them? You know what I'm talking about? Like for real, man. So yeah, y'all willing till tomorrow, man. He said if they didn't want to understand if they give you anything, they can take it. That's a fact. And I said that when we were having that conversation, Barry. Like if somebody can give you rights, blessings, Brother Nate, they could take them, which means you're not free. Because when you're free, can't nobody take that from you. You understand? That's why we free among the dead. Satan can't take that freedom we got. Amen, Sister Regina. Shalom. Praise you, Lord. That's what you got to remember, man. Satan can't take the freedom we got. You crochet, you without tax, debt, and obligation. He can't take that. That's what true freedom, that's what true power look like. Just weigh and consider. You who are willing till tomorrow. Calm down, baby. Listen.